Su Jie had a hint of a smile at the corner of his mouth, as his gaze swept over Wei Qingwan, Jiang Lin, and Mo Shiyao. Upon hearing Su Jie's words, although uncertain of their truth, the hearts of Wei Qingwan, Jiang Lin, and Mo Shiyao began to race, their expressions displaying a strange yearning. It must be noted that Su Jie previously demanded a ransom of 10 million spirit stones from each of them. But 3 million spirit stones, a reduction by more than threefold, was a price the sect was likely willing to pay for their release. The three women exchanged glances, their eyes instantly becoming exceptionally wary. "Is what you said true?" Wei Qingwan hastily asked, unwilling to spend another day by Su Jie's side, fearing when Su Jie might reveal his true nature. She didn't want any stain on her life. Although she already had a stain upon capture, being a captive was entirely different from being. Before Su Jie could reply, Jiang Lin suddenly spoke. "I am willing to pay. I wish to write to the sect. Our Jingyu temple will supply the ransom." This was an opportunity Jiang Lin didn't want to miss, immediately speaking up before Mo Shiyao and Wei Qingwan could react. "You!" Wei Qingwan became furious, angrily glaring at Jiang Lin, almost wanting to punch her pretty face. Mo Shiyao's face also darkened, staring at Mo Shiyao with great dissatisfaction. Yet fearing to fall behind again, she was about to speak. However, Mo Shiyao was still too slow as a male voice resounded. "I'm willing to pay too." It was He Wenfeng who was quicker, covering Yu Wenjing's mouth, not giving him the chance to speak. He had overheard the conversation and seized the second slot. "Bastard!" Yu Wenjing forcefully broke free from He Wenfeng's grasp, fuming with rage, attacking with his fists, and the two exchanged blows. Although their spiritual power was sealed, they still retained basic physical strength and combat skills, and the fight was exceptionally fierce. Watching this scene, not only Su Jie, but even the Ghost Ridge Palace disciples on the deck burst into laughter. "Haha! Interesting, truly interesting. You righteous disciples really have broadened my horizons. Is this the depth of your bonds? Seems not so steadfast." Su Jie slapped his thigh, while the surrounding demon cultivator disciples laughed heartily. You're not keeping your word." Seeing Su Jie's expression, Jiang Lin suddenly understood, with her forehead full of black lines. He Wenfeng, who had taken several punches, also stopped, the monk gritting his teeth, cursing, "Mr. Su, are you deliberately toying with us? I am a demon cultivator." If a demon cultivator kept their word, would they still be a demon cultivator? "Just teasing you, you are all my goods, wishing for a cheap deal. There's no such easy thing in the world." Su Jie's face had a playful expression, his smile radiant. These people were not without pride, but after being kidnapped for a while, their lives had drastically declined, unable to eat or dress well, having to bear Su Jie's insults, doing work they previously looked down upon as maidservants or servants, with a desire to escape this captive life growing extremely strong. With just a little temptation from Su Jie, they couldn't restrain themselves, willing to jump into the trap despite knowing it was there. Furthermore, though they belonged to the righteous sect, they didn't originate from the same sect. There were also conflicts among the righteous sects, and when these escalated, sect destruction wars could happen. Like Guanchao Pavilion and Fire Cloud Palace, the righteous leaders of the respective provinces fought fiercely, just like other righteous sects. Hearing Su Jie's arrogant, unreasonable words, Jiang Lin and He Wenfeng's faces turned blue with anger, feeling deeply humiliated as their small schemes were all seen through by Su Jie. "Humph, this is the result of believing in the words of a demon cultivator. You truly are foolish." Wei Qingwan unreservedly mocked. Although she also intended to negotiate with Su Jie earlier, she at least didn't succeed, allowing her to stand on a moral high ground to criticize Jiang Lin and He Wenfeng. "Jiang Lin, you are too trusting. He was merely toying with you." Mo Shiyao also quietly criticized Jiang Lin. "Bald donkey. Can't even discern this. Monks truly do have empty heads." Yu Wenjing also ridiculed He Wenfeng, mockingly taunting him. Jiang Lin and He Wenfeng's faces reddened with embarrassment, wishing they could find a hole to hide in. This group of righteous talents had infighting just because of a small promise from Su Jie, with their friendship capsizing effortlessly. After this brief interlude, Su Jie arrived at the core hall of the flying magic boat. Hall Master, we have been within the boundaries of Qing Province for 2 hours now. At our current speed, we'll reach the Fire Cloud Palace's territory in about 10 more minutes. Zhu Zhangxi quickly approached, reporting the situation. Have the boat stay away from the Fire Cloud Palace's territory and hover outside. Su Jie instructed, as Qin Menjing had already sent a message back as agreed, stating that Fire Cloud Palace wanted to form a cooperation. Su Jie came to Qing Province specifically for this collaboration. However, Su Jie wasn't going there in person. He took out the Divine Firm sword from his storage bag, and Su Jie extended his right hand into his eye socket, digging out his left eyeball. In the blood-filled eye socket, new flesh quickly sprouted, soon growing into a new eye. The eyeball that Su Jie dug out was pressed onto the Divine Firm sword. Flesh began to grow from the eyeball, like a wriggling flesh carpet, completely enveloping the Divine Firm sword. The flesh proliferated wildly, becoming exceedingly wild and eventually standing upright as a human shape. In the next moment, Su Jie activated the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill. A torrent of holy blood surged from Su Jie's body, merging into this mass of flesh. The holy blood reformed the internal system of the body, constructing an operational posture, and integrating with the Divine Firm sword, bestowing combat capability. A part of Su Jie's primordial spirit was severed and incorporated, manipulated to resemble Su Jie's appearance, and dressed in clothing, so those not familiar might really think it was Su Jie. Thus, a puppet was created with the Divine Firm sword at its core, Su Jie's flesh as its base, and holy blood as its energy source. This was akin to Su Jie's creation of combat blood demons in the Blood Sea, except this included the Divine Firm sword and a portion of Su Jie's primordial spirit, receiving further enhancement. As such, this puppet could be remotely controlled by Su Jie, allowing him to control the puppet from hundreds of miles away, acting and speaking like a real person. After completing this, Su Jie examined the puppet, feeling a slight stir in his heart. The puppet in front of him opened its mouth and spoke, "Su Saint Heir for eternity, unite the Tianyuan." Whether in tone, movement, or demeanor, it was indistinguishable from Su Jie. This sensation was like Su Jie using his consciousness to manipulate a robot, as flesh itself lacked consciousness. If there were any drawbacks, it was the puppet's limited actual combat capability, able to wield only a portion of the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill's power and the Divine Firm sword's combat strength, falling far short of Su Jie's body's combat prowess. Moreover, if this puppet were destroyed, a portion of Su Jie's primordial spirit would be lost. Since the primordial spirit was divided, Su Jie would need to recuperate for several days. But this was enough to satisfy Su Jie, as it spared him personal involvement. Beside him, Zhu Zhangxi, who witnessed the entire process, was astonished inwardly, feeling more reverent towards Su Jie's methods. Even though this was just a separated puppet, the blood puppet still made him feel uneasy. Su Jie controlled the blood puppet, step by step, towards the windowsill. "Go!" Su Jie commanded, and the blood puppet leaped out from the windowsill. Here, at the height of 10,000 miles, under Su Jie's control, the blood puppet's Divine Firm sword glowed, transforming the whole figure into a flash of light, swiftly heading southeastward through the sky. There lay the mountain gate of Fire Cloud Palace. Fire Cloud Palace Mountain Gate. Qin Menjing was waiting early at the mountain gate entrance because today was the appointed day for the meeting. The sun gradually ascended, hanging high in the sky, its rays shining on Qin Menjing, making her look like a golden holy maiden statue, catching the attention of many passing disciples. Many disciples looked at her with admiration in their eyes but only dared to watch from afar, not daring to approach. By noon, just as Qin Menjing was anxiously worrying about why Su Jie hadn't arrived yet, she suddenly saw a black dot flying from the horizon. As the distance closed, the black dot gradually became clearer, revealing a figure in a black robe, wearing a mask. Because Su Jie's identity needed to be kept secret, And since Su Jie's face was now well known due to the wanted notices by the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion, it was natural not to easily reveal it. Having interacted with Su Jie before, Qin Menjing's eyes lit up as she sensed that familiar aura and quickly flew up to greet him. Elder Su, you're here. We've been awaiting your arrival for a long time. Qin Menjing spoke. As the only person in Fire Cloud Palace who had dealt with Su Jie, she was responsible for receiving and accompanying him. Heh, I am a man of my word. Said I'd come today, and here I am. Su Jie landed on the ground with Qin Menjing and looked at the mountain gate of Fire Cloud Palace before them. That giant peak mountain stood towering and majestic, with a precipitous peak surrounded by clouds, and from the mountain's belly, the scorching and surging earth flame fire occasionally spewed out towering pillars of flames. But that wasn't what truly caught Su Jie's attention. It was the red shining immortal palace, suspended in the sky atop giant peak mountain, that truly made him take notice. Su Jie had long heard of this red shining immortal palace, a landmark building of Qing province. Even though he had some expectation in his heart, truly seeing its appearance left Su Jie inexplicably shocked. The Forbidden City only covers 70,000 square meters, but this red shining immortal palace has over 100,000 square meters. Built with a variety of rare materials and suspended 1,000 meters in the air, it dazzles under the reflection of the sun, magnificent and grand. This is the red shining immortal palace. Truly, it is more astounding in person. Magnificent indeed, only Fire Cloud Palace, the leader of the righteous sects in Qing province, could build such an immortal palace.
Suye seye shone briktli empressing sincere admiration.
Imagine if it were to be taken, how much it would sell for. He dared not think, dared not imagine. Indeed, our red shining immortal palace is the benchmark of Qing province, unmatched by any. Qin Menjing proudly puffed out her chest. Every outsider who saw the red shining immortal palace was always stunned. A scene Qin Menjing had witnessed many times. But this time, the one showing surprise was Su Jie, the great demon of Qingzhou, whose different identity and status brought a completely different feeling. A strong sense of pride surged within Qin Menjing, as pride for her own sect. However, when Qin Menjing saw Su Jie's eyes, her heart couldn't help but skip a beat. She distinctly remembered that when Su Jie had kidnapped her and Wei Qingwan, he had looked at them with this same gaze, as if seeing treasures. This devil, could he be plotting against their own red shining immortal palace? Qin Menjing's eye twitched, speechless at Su Jie's audacity. Elder Su, please. Qin Menjing guided Su Jie into Fire Cloud Palace. Su Jie showed no hesitation, it was just a puppet. He had nothing to fear. Entering Fire Cloud Palace, one could see ancient wooden corridors and winding paths leading to secluded areas. Every brick and tile exuded a rich sense of history. The sect's internal layout was exquisite, with pavilions and towers staggered throughout, each showing unique craftsmanship. One could see cultivators either meditating quietly or sparring with each other. Some cultivators practiced within the volcanic crater inside Giant Peak Mountain, absorbing the heat of the earth flame fire. Qin Menjing had no intention of giving Su Jie a tour of the sect and quickly arrived before the red shining immortal palace with Su Jie following her onto the structure. When Su Jie stepped onto the ground paved with star Qiyu in the red shining immortal palace and looked around, a splendid scene appeared before his eyes. Golden light everywhere, auspicious clouds, glazed roofs, adorned with jade, numerous palatial corridors entangled with jade qilin, with some long bridges coiled with fire feather phoenix patterns. Various uniquely designed buildings were scattered all around, such as the Observing Star Divine Platform, Great Sun Cloud Palace, Five Elements Spirit Hall, Treasure Light Dragon Boat Palace. Everywhere, treasure medicine and auspicious grass could be seen, exuding spirit light divine charm, some having even formed humanoid silhouettes, being 10,000-year-old elixirs. The scenes in the red, shining immortal palace indeed reflected embellished gates and corridors with vibrant phoenixes dancing at vermilion doors, layered corridors backtracking, with everything intricate and delicate, dragons and phoenixes soaring in layers. This red, shining immortal palace wasn't just beautiful. Inscriptions of formations were engraved on it, embedded within numerous precious spiritual materials in its construction, drawing light from the sun above and volcanic energy from giant peak mountain below, imbuing it with strong fire attribute spiritual power, with even the breaths Su Jie exhaled carrying a sense of heat. It's conceivable that cultivating fire attribute cultivation techniques here would progress rapidly. Su Jie vaguely sensed that the formations in the red shining immortal palace weren't so simple. What he saw was only the surface. The true core formations remained hidden in mist. Su Jie wasn't adept at formations, had little understanding, and couldn't discern the truth of it. This is freaking luxurious. Su Jie's eyes were fixed, not knowing how many billion spirit stones this red shining immortal palace was worth. Numbers Su Jie couldn't imagine. Originally, Su Jie thought his spirit stone assets were considered mighty, but standing in front of this red shining immortal palace, Su Jie realized he was still just a pauper among the masses. These sects with thousands of years of accumulation were the truly wealthy ones. At the red shining immortal palace, all present were inner disciples and elders. Seeing Qin Menjing respectfully leading a masked man, they all showed curiosity. Walking over 700 meters, Su Jie followed Qin Menjing to the great sun cloud palace of the red shining immortal palace. As he entered, a figure was already waiting there. Su Jie locked eyes with him, and both were measuring each other. This person was tall and robust, with arms as strong as horse runners, bald with a fiery red beard, the color incredibly pure, like a blazing flame, giving off a powerful oppressive aura. Just standing there, he resembled an active volcano about to erupt, with terrifying fire attribute spiritual power hidden within. Seventh realm of the Taoist platform, Su Jie estimated this man's strength, knowing that such a powerhouse at the peak of the Taoist platform realm was beyond his current ability to contend with. You must be Chu Sect Master of the Fire Cloud Palace. I've long admired your name. Su Jie slightly cupped his hands in respect, removed his mask, and greeted him. Elder Su, it is your reputation that precedes you. I'm just a washed-up old fellow, whereas you young ones of the newer generation are vibrant, playing Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance in your palm. Chu Yengang smiled warmly, without using his status to put on airs. Elder Su, sit down. I'm a rustic man and not used to tea. This is the spiritual wine brewed by us at Fire Cloud Palace, which I've treasured for 100 years. See if it suits your taste. You're too kind, Chu Sect Master. This spiritual wine is a rare treat. I'm taking advantage today. Haha. Elder Su, drink as much as you like. Chu Sect Master, you're indeed generous. With laughter and conversation, the two sat down facing each other. Qin Menjing closed the door then, approached them, and helped pour tea and wine. Su Jie took a sip of the wine, immediately feeling a refreshing sensation penetrate through his lungs, followed by a rich aroma that was yet clear. The wine, filled with spiritual power, was like divine nectar. A sip made his body warm as the spiritual power within him became exceptionally active. Clearly, this was a fine wine brewed from various rare spirit fruits, priced at tens of thousands of spirit stones, showing Chu Yangang's regard. Chu Sect Master, my purpose must have been informed to you by Miss Qin, so I will not beat around the bush. How do you view our mutual cooperation? Su Jie put down his wine glass, his expression turning serious as he brought up the main issue. Chu Yengang also put away the pleasantries and spoke. Elder Su, this cooperation you're speaking of, are you representing yourself, or Ghost Ridge Palace? Su Jie replied calmly. Not long ago, I was just promoted to the Saint Heir of Ghost Ridge Palace. To a certain extent, my will also represents the will of Ghost Ridge Palace. Su Jie's words were not baseless. Before Su Jie set out on the flying magical boat, Zhang Junwei had given him considerable authority. And given Su Jie's current association with Ghost Ridge Palace, outsiders couldn't separate Su Jie from it. Su Jie's enemies would naturally see opposition to him as opposition to Ghost Ridge Palace as a whole. Chu Yengang understood immediately, not doubting the truth of Su Jie's words. With Su Jie's talent and combat power, becoming the sect Saint Sun was quite reasonable. It would be unreasonable if he hadn't attained it. Regarding cooperation, our Fire Cloud Palace is very interested. I would like to hear Elder Su's plans. What do you intend to do about the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion? Chu Yengang responded without hesitation, not caring about Su Jie being a demon cultivator, only interested in whether this enemy could be dealt with promptly. Guanchao Pavilion was a nemesis to Fire Cloud Palace, and the 10,000 Sword Alliance was always trying to claim the top spot of the Qing Province righteous sect. Chu Yengang was eager to eliminate these two sects immediately. If Su Jie could accomplish that, help weaken Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance, then Su Jie would be Chu Yangang's staunch friend and good brother. Qin Menjing's beautiful eyes blinked, also turning her gaze over, curious about Su Jie's cooperation plan. Su Jie slowly took another sip of wine, speaking unhurriedly. My plan is simple. Lure the snake out of its nest. Chu Yengang became eager. Couldn't wait. Elder Su, please elaborate. As he spoke, he actively poured more wine for Su Jie, showing his impatience. Su Jie didn't hesitate further, explaining his plan. Both Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance have lost a Taoist platform realm elder at my hands. Now their desire to kill me is intense. They would certainly seize an opportunity to mobilize core forces to besiege me. At this moment, it requires Fire Cloud Palace's assistance. The other parties are unaware of your cooperation with me. As long as you coordinate well, we can effectively ambush and decimate the vital forces of Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Upon hearing Su Jie's plan, Chu Yengang pondered and asked, what if Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance deploy more forces than we anticipated? Fire Cloud Palace couldn't fight two at once. Otherwise, they would have already annihilated Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance. If these two sects value Su Jie excessively and dispatch numerous strong warriors, then who would kill whom would be uncertain. This is the crux of the issue. Your Fire Cloud Palace needs to apply pressure, ensuring the forces dispatched by Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance are limited, and then covertly draw power, siding with me to catch them off guard. Su Jie laid out the plan. It's not complicated. Exploit Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance's intent to kill him, bait them into scattering their forces, and then devour them. If the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion relied on their sect or stuck together, Su Jie would have no chance. They need to be lured out first into the trap where Su Jie's side would have the upper hand. Excellent plan. Recently, Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance lost Zhong Xinping and Murong Yu, formidable forces within them. We have reasons to threaten and force them to withdraw their forces. Chu Yengang clapped his hands, immediately thinking of a specific course of action in line with Su Jie's topic. Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance might seek support from other righteous sects which we need to guard against. Qing Province is something for Chu Sect Master to handle, although I believe it's not a major issue. On my part, I will include myself and persuade the Ghost Ridge Palace Sect Master and Heavenly Soul Sect Master to partake in this encirclement. Su Jie continued to elaborate, knowing the Qingzhou righteous sect revolving around Guanchao Pavilion could certainly find Taoist platform realm reinforcements.
Jaja, Elder Su, rest assured.
In Qing Province, the 10,000 Sword Alliance is not in charge. Once we at Fire Cloud Palace speak, no one will dare to support a 10,000 Sword Alliance excursion. Chu Yengang confidently made a guarantee, with Fire Cloud Palace being the dominator of Qing Province. The 10,000 Sword Alliance was still a notch below. Even in borrowing external aid, it couldn't surpass Fire Cloud Palace. As Chu Yengang thought further, his excitement grew. Fire Cloud Palace already possessed significant strength, coupled with a powerhouse like Su Jie, who also spoke of Taoist platform realm reinforcements, increasing their odds further. What if they don't fall for it? Qin Menjing, engrossed, couldn't help but interject. Su Jie had hidden for so long. She thought that Su Jie revealing himself suddenly might rouse Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance's vigilance, potentially alerting them. Su Jie smiled lightly, saying, I'm quite confident in my actions because I have a trump card. They would never expect this to be a trap for them. What is the trump card? Qing Province borders Chongzhou to the west, a continent prolific with the demon path. If I were to host an auction there, they would surely be eager to attend. What would you be auctioning? Qin Menjing blinked, looking puzzled and confused. Gradually, Qin Menjing finally realized what Su Jie was implying, understanding why Su Jie was so confident. If that's the item up for auction, Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance would be more than eager. After confirming the cooperation plan, Su Jie didn't stay here long. After exchanging contact locations and channels with Chu Yengang, he left first. You seem preoccupied. On the way, Su Jie looked at Qin Menjing, who was accompanying him. Her expression of wanting to speak but hesitating throughout the journey was quite obvious. Ah, no. Qin Menjing shook her head. In fact, she thought that if she hadn't come from the Fire Cloud Palace, she might have been sold out by Su Jie. Su Jie saw through Qin Menjing's thoughts and was about to speak. Bang! Suddenly, a circular shockwave came from the side. Su Jie's robe was blown, and when he looked sideways, he saw a red-robed Taoist walking on air. His eyes were like fire, dressed in a broad red robe with flowing clouds at the corners, and a large string of golden Buddhist beads hanging around his neck. At this moment, his entire aura erupted, like a volcano awakening from slumber. Spiritual power turned into rivers of lava, rolling and spreading around, the fiery breath igniting the air. Su Jie, being close, was the first to bear the brunt. Not good. Elder D's heart demon flared up again. How did he get out of the forbidden spirit room? Qin Menjing's face changed dramatically. This Elder D Pingqiu was a Taoist platform realm 4th level master, having had a mishap in his cultivation. The fundamental cultivation method of the Fire Cloud Palace, the fire-devouring pure Yang True method, could absorb the spiritual fire of heaven and earth to speed up cultivation and increase combat power. 10 years ago, D Pingqiu accidentally discovered the Xitigarbha bone fire. During the absorption process, he could never fully possess it, and the eerie bone fire even burned his primordial spirit, leading to the birth of a heart demon. Over the years, D Pingqiu had been troubled by the heart demon, occasionally losing his mind to it. To prevent his heart demon from causing chaos and harming fellow sect members, he often self-imprisoned himself in the forbidden spirit room. This time, no one knew how he escaped. Upon seeing this, Su Jie waved his sleeve, isolating the rolling heat waves outside. Spiritual power formed a barrier, protecting himself and Qin Menjing. Ha ha ha! Burn the heavens. Burn all living creatures and things. D Pingqiu seemed attracted by Su Jie's actions, letting out a mad laugh. His body moved like a great rock. His limbs turned into flowing lava, directly attacking Su Jie. His arm just punched out. Flames soared into the sky like countless meteors streaking across the sky, igniting a blazing firestorm. Under Su Jie's flesh, pale corpse hands surged, spreading like a tide, linking together to form a 100-meter-tall pale giant. It roared as it stepped through the sea of fire, reaching for D Pingqiu in the sky. Burn! Burn it all! Burn everything! D Pingqiu allowed himself to be grabbed by the pale giant's hand, his laughter full of wickedness. The next moment, the pale giant was engulfed in flames. The fire erupted from within, causing the giant body to explode. Inside the red shining immortal palace, array patterns had already lit up, isolating the shockwaves of the battle. The enormous commotion also startled the inner disciples and elders cultivating in the immortal palace, drawing their gazes over. It's bad. It's Elder D Pingqiu. His heart demon has taken over. Quick, call the sect master. This can't go on. Everyone fall back. Don't get close. These Fire Cloud Palace disciples and elders' faces changed dramatically. D Pingqiu was a Taoist platform realm 4th level master, and with such a master, even the secret realm elders would struggle to withstand the aftermath of his battle, let alone inner disciples. Just the shockwaves could put their lives at risk. The crowd backed away, casting curious glances at Su Jie. Su Jie could actually withstand a few moves from D Pingqiu, although the heart demon had taken over, rendering D Pingqiu's fighting incoherent. He was not someone anyone could withstand. Kill, 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 kill. D Pingqiu grew more frenzied, charging towards Su Jie. The flames surrounding him even slowly dissolved the sturdy array patterns underfoot. Elder Su, let's retreat quickly. Qin Menjing's pretty face turned pale. She wondered why Chu Yengang had not appeared yet. In the past, the sect master always appeared and stopped Elder Di Pingqiu immediately when something went wrong. Sword slash. Su Jie's eyes narrowed slightly, as if understanding something. Instantly, he transformed into a sharp sword, sweeping across with surging sword qi. Clang! Di Pingqiu blocked the sword qi with his hands, showing a bloodthirsty and crazed smile at the nearby Su Jie. Not enough. Not enough. Far from enough. Bang! The sword qi was ignited by the flames, which had a ghastly green hue, precisely that of the uncontrollable Xidagarba bone fire. As the bone fire was about to burn Su Jie, a voice rang out. Suppress! A massive golden bell descended from the sky. The bell quivered slightly, and a resonating bell toll spread throughout the fire cloud palace. Complex runes surfaced on the bell's surface, each seeming to contain the power of heaven and earth. As the melodious bell tolled, all the flames, including the Xidagarba bone fire, were drawn inside. Chu Yengang appeared in the arena, holding a shrunken golden bell in his right hand and pressing his left hand on Di Pingqiu's head. Whatever he did, Di Pingqiu's head tilted, and he closed his eyes in a daze. Qin Menjing breathed a sigh of relief. The feeling of being on edge finally disappeared.
Elder Su, I am truly sorry.
Due to my negligence, Elder Di's heart demon acted up, causing him to lose his rationality and control over his own actions. Chu Yengang apologized to Su Jie, acknowledging it was his oversight. No worries. Consider it as a way to stretch one's body. Su Jie's gaze was fixed on the golden bell in Chu Yangang's hand. The golden bell gave Su Jie the impression of perpetually suppressing an entire world. It seemed that what Chu Yengang was holding was not a bell but a gigantic mountain peak, making Su Jie feel an immense pressure. Even the divine firm sword within Su Jie seemed to tremble slightly when directly facing the golden bell, which was a kind of hierarchical suppression. Spiritual treasure indeed, Su Jie thought secretly to himself. A common magical treasure, even a top-grade one, could not induce such a feeling in Su Jie. Only a spiritual treasure could. This is a token of apology. Menjing, escort Elder Su out. Chu Yengang apologized to Su Jie a few more times and then, without further ado, handed over several large jars of precious spiritual wine as compensation, worth as much as 200,000 spirit stones. Su Jie accepted this benefit without hesitation, but before leaving, he glanced meaningfully at Elder Di Pingqiu, then turned away accompanied by Qin Menjing. Along the way, those disciples and elders of the Fire Cloud Palace frequently cast glances at Su Jie, wondering who this powerhouse was, being able to stand against Di Pingqiu alone for several rounds. Once Su Jie left, Di Pingqiu's tightly closed eyes suddenly opened. Sect Master, don't you think this Su Jie is a bit overrated? The rumors seem exaggerated. Di Pingqiu's voice was steady, his eyes clear, with no trace of madness or frenzy. Unknown to the world, Di Pingqiu had already mastered the Xidagarba bone fire 5 months ago, having long resolved his heart demon issue. His earlier state was purely a ploy to test Su Jie's strength. During the test, he felt that Su Jie's strength was nowhere near as formidable as rumored. He believed his Xidagarba bone fire could easily burn Su Jie to death. In his view, Su Jie's strength was at most between the first and second level of the Taoist platform realm. Such strength, while remarkable for a young person, fell far short of matching Su Jie's reputed fearsome renown. It should be noted that Su Jie's highest achievement included slaying Zhong Xinping of Guanchao Pavilion, a genuine 4th-level Taoist platform expert. Di Pingqiu had interacted with Zhong Xinping and knew his formidable strength. Based on Su Jie's performance, he didn't seem capable of defeating Zhong Xinping. Escaping alive from Zhong Xinping would have already been a significant feat. Didn't you notice it? Chu Yengang put away the golden bell and, in response to Di Pingqiu's doubts, shook his head helplessly. Notice what? Di Pingqiu was confused, failing to grasp the sect master's words. What you were facing was just a fake puppet replica, not Su Jie's true form. Chu Yengang pointed out the truth to Di Pingqiu, who had confidence but failed to see that the Su Jie who appeared was merely a fake form. What? How is this possible? Di Pingqiu's eyes widened, and his entire body shook violently. A fake puppet possessing first-level Taoist platform realm strength. How terrifying would Su Jie's true form be? He dared not imagine. Facts are facts. He is a valuable collaborator. The stronger he is, the more advantageous it is for us to counter Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Chu Yengang gazed into the distance and remarked, "Today's young people truly are extraordinary. If this devilish immortal seed does not fall in the future, his achievements shall be limitless." Suddenly, Di Pingqiu didn't feel like speaking anymore. Earlier, he had been quite self-assured, but after realizing he had tangled with merely a puppet, his confidence quivered. He felt foolish for being smug about restraining Su Jie earlier, only to find out it was just a fake body, making his actions seem clownish. Alright, don't overthink it. The stronger our collaborator, the better. Let's look forward to what this Qingzhou Demon Path Colossus can do. Chu Yengang patted Di Pingqiu on the shoulder, needing to go down and prepare as well, to cooperate with Su Jie's plan in weakening Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance's strength. On the other side, Su Jie's puppet exited the Fire Cloud Palace and, after several disguises, returned to the little thousand-flying sky magic boat. Thud! In the secret chamber, the fake body puppet's physical form disintegrated like flowing water, merging into Su Jie's true form, revealing the divine firm sword suspended in front of Su Jie. Su Jie's true body opened its eyes, looking at the sharp divine firm sword before him, and chuckled lightly. So they didn't believe in my strength and had to test it specially. Quite obvious in their actions. Such probing couldn't be hidden from Su Jie. Su Jie was well acquainted with heart demons, having been plagued by them often when practicing the Blood Sea devouring sky demon skill. It was only later when he relied on the sun to purify them that he became familiar with heart demons. Whether Di Pingqiu truly lost his wits to heart demons or was feigning madness, Su Jie could see it clearly. Nevertheless, Su Jie didn't take it to heart. He stood up, calling for Chen Yun and the others, as he too needed to start arranging his plan. Chongzhou, Taifeng City. Chongzhou is quite special in the Dali dynasty. Among the 16 states of the Dali dynasty, 15 are dominated by the righteous sects, with the demon path struggling to survive. But in Chongzhou, this situation is reversed. Chongzhou is the only state in the Dali dynasty where the righteous sects are declining while the demon path is rising. In Chongzhou, the demon path holds the upper hand, suppressing the righteous sects, with the righteous sects being in a suppressed state. Taifeng City is located at the border of Chongzhou. Not far to the northwest is Qing Province. Because the Luochuan River passes through, along with being the junction of Chongzhou and Qing Province, business ships often come and go, making Taifeng City very prosperous. However, Taifeng City is most famous not for its commercial atmosphere, but because within the city of Taifeng, there exists an extreme treasure auction house. The demon path flourishes in Chongzhou, and they often have all sorts of unknown trophies that need to be cleaned and sold. Thus, an organization is needed to handle the accounting. Thus, the black market auction emerged, specializing in handling various items from demon cultivators, and even holding special auctions for some good items to bid on. There are many kinds of auction houses in Chongzhou, mostly arising from a mix of forces, including local powerhouses, aristocratic families, powerful loose cultivators, among others. Some strong auctions reportedly even involve forces from Delhi City sharing in the profits. Although demon cultivators don't abide by rules, the auctions exist because all demon sects need them, so no one casually breaks the rules. It's like a black industry chain. Various black markets and auction houses are the fencing terminal. The higher the risk and opacity of the business, the richer the interests it represents, attracting the participation of many forces. In Chongzhou, the Extreme Treasure Auction House is one of the largest, with 8 branches across Chongzhou. Taifeng City has one of them. At noon, on the street where the Extreme Treasure Auction House is located, a woman slowly walks along. She's dressed in black, her eyes jet black and bright. Though her face is not particularly beautiful, it carries a mature charm. This is Chen Yun. She came to Taifeng City on Su Jie's orders to run an errand. Walking to the street where the Extreme Treasure Auction House is located, as soon as Chen Yun entered, she felt numerous gazes sweeping over her. On the street, travelers are basically all cultivators, and since this is Chongzhou, the origins of these cultivators are left to the imagination. Unfazed, Chen Yun continued forward to the front of the Extreme Treasure Auction House. This is a 5-story ancient building. It doesn't have crowded throngs. On the contrary, the flow of people is sparse. Each person entering does so hurriedly, either coming or going in a hurry, or covering their whole body with a black robe, looking tense and mysterious. People like Chen Yun entering openly without disguise are in the minority instead. Upon entering the Extreme Treasure Auction House, a specialist quickly approached Chen Yun. "Fellow cultivator, may I ask what goods you wish to sell?" In a room specially shielded with a soundproof array, the staff of the Extreme Treasure Auction House inquired. "Get your leader here. You can't handle it." Chen Yun flicked her storage bag, allowing a top-grade spirit stone to leap onto her palm, proving her strength and that she was not joking. The staff of the Extreme Treasure Auction House was stunned, then immediately nodded. "All right, fellow cultivator, please wait for a moment." With that, they respectfully served Chen Yun tea before leaving the room to report quickly. A single top-grade spirit stone is worth over 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. Such an item is not commonly owned by ordinary Yunling realm disciples, nor does it commonly circulate among disciples. It's basically only used above the secret realm. Being able to casually bring out a top-grade spirit stone already warrants the Extreme Treasure Auction's attention. After a short moment, the secret room's door was pushed open again. Standing before Chen Yun was Sanger, a genteel middle-aged man wearing a cap, flanked by 2 escort-like figures with cultivations of the 10 levels of Yunling realm. Chen Yun's strength is at the Yunling realm 8th level. Yet she remained unyielding, her expression completely composed. "How should I address you, fellow cultivator? I'm in charge of this Extreme Treasure Auction House. My surname is Zhao. I am the shopkeeper here." The middle-aged man Zhao Jiahao ordered the 2 escorts to stand guard at the door, then entered alone, showing Chen Yun a warm smile. Being able to easily bring out a top-grade spirit stone suggests either Chen Yun had extraordinary luck and found a rare treasure, or it indicates that a strong individual from the secret realm supports Chen Yun, and she is merely a front. Chen Yun. Chen Yun spoke indifferently, not using an alias. Her name was not prominent, unlike a hall master, who would be exceptionally prestigious. Zhao Jiahao mentally ran through the names of young elites across Chongzhou but found no impression of anyone named Chen Yun. Still, Zhao Jiahao didn't treat her with negligence, despite their reluctance to deal harshly. Their Extreme Treasure Auction House does business, and although merchants adjust their treatment based on clientele, Chen Yun's unknown origin made him cautious not to offend. "Ah, so it's fellow cultivator Chen. It's a pleasure to meet you." Zhao Jiahao continually bowed, while pouring tea for Chen Yun, and asked, "Fellow cultivator Chen, may I ask what goods you wish to sell this time, and if you could possibly show us?" Chen Yun stared at Zhao Jiahao, saying, "I am aware of your Extreme Treasure Auction House, but the goods I wish to sell this time might be too risky for you to handle." Upon hearing this, Zhao Jiahao immediately smiled confidently. "Fellow cultivator Chen, our Extreme Treasure Auction House's strength is top tier. We've even auctioned magical treasures. 5 years ago, the Black Gold Sunflower Soul Fan, a low-grade magical treasure, was auctioned at our house for 1.25 million spirit stones. You can absolutely trust our capability. The value of a magical treasure is at least 1 million spirit stones, and such treasures have highly distinctive personal characteristics. They are basically custom-made for individuals, unlike those mass-produced magic artifacts. Often these magical treasures are quite renowned because the ones who can use them are at least strong figures in the secret realm, possessing a primordial spirit. Such powerful individuals are naturally not obscure, and the weapons they use would not be without fame, often being well known. Therefore, if a stolen magical treasure surfaces, it's easy to trace where it came from and whose hands crafted it. An auction house without a certain strength would not dare to openly auction such items. If they offend some formidable character, the entire auction could be overturned in revenge. Ordinary magical treasures are not as good as what I want to sell, so you better be prepared mentally. Chen Yun emphasized, causing Zhao Jiahao's heart to thump, and his expression became grave. Not even looking at low-grade magical treasures, what on earth does this guy want to sell? Could it be a mid-grade magical treasure, or some spiritual elixir? With a fleeting thought, Zhao Jiahao decisively agreed. Chun, you just say the word. Our extreme treasure auction house has seen all sorts of big scenes. There's nothing under the sky we dare not auction. Zhao Jiahao said grandly, not knowing that he would soon regret these words. Chun Yun, seeing Zhao Jiahao's response, nodded with satisfaction and said, all right then, what I want to auction is people. People? Zhao Jiahao seemed to doubt his own hearing. Although auction houses in Chongzhou often trade in human slaves, this does not even come close to magical treasures, unless Chen Yun is auctioning a staggering number of human slaves, which is unlikely as there haven't been any recent reports of large-scale disappearances. I want to auction 5 people, from the Guanchao Pavilions Yu Wenjing, Miao Yin Temple's Mo Shiyao, Jingyu Temple's Zhang Lin, Lingfa Temple's He Wenfeng, to the 10,000 Sword Alliance's Wei Qingwan. I suppose with your extensive experience, Manager Zhao, you've heard of these 5 genius disciples. Finally, Chen Yun stated the goods she intended to auction, genius disciples from the 5 righteous sects. Zhao Jiahao's eyes went dull upon hearing Chen Yun's words. He was utterly stunned. Of course he's heard of them. Qingzhou, Qing Province, Jingzhou and Chongzhou are all closely situated in the southern Deli dynasty. He, as a businessman, is well informed. These 5 genius disciples are very famous, exceptionally gifted, mostly possessing divine bodies and sacred bodies. For instance, Yu Wenjing with the obsidian scale body, ranked 14th among divine bodies. Zhang Lin with the purple mist Qibao body, ranked 24th, and Wei Qingwan with the Xuanyu Qixing body, ranked 17th. These young genius disciples are already in the secret realm in terms of cultivation, with some being trained as successors of their sects. How could he not know of them? Precisely because he knew of them, Zhao Jiahao was dumbfounded. Shock and fear simultaneously cast shadows over his heart. Chen, the person standing behind you is
Su.
Su, true monarch, right? Zhao Jiahao stuttered, having pieced together the sequence of events. When Su Jie kidnapped these genius disciples, he had gossiped plenty with others. He never imagined there would come a day where he'd have dealings with these righteous sect geniuses. Su Jie, the giant of the Qingzhou demon path, why of all businesses choose his auction house, and in such a business trading righteous geniuses? Chen Yun nodded and said, this is the business of our Ghost Ridge Palace's Saint Heir. It seems you know well and have heard of our Saint Heir's reputation, saving me the need for an introduction. Zhao Jiahao felt his scalp tingling. Su Jie was a giant within the Qingzhou demon path, having countless strong individuals die by his hand. Such a ruthless man was endlessly discussed as a hot topic in a place like Chongzhou, a holy land of the demon path. He'd heard of him so much his ears were growing calluses. Well, Chun, no, Sister Chun, can we possibly discuss this further? This business? Zhao Jiahao wore an expression as if he wanted to cry but had no tears. He never wanted to take on this troublesome business. This wasn't about trading magical treasures, but rather auctioning off those genius disciples from the righteous sects. Where would he find the courage? If this news spread, who knows how great the wrath of those righteous sects would be? His little heart couldn't bear it. What, you've already made a promise and want to go back on it? Are you underestimating the Saint Heir of my sect? Does your extreme treasure auction house still want to exist? Chen Yun glared, her expression turning icy. Zhao Jiahao was scared into a shiver. He didn't want to provoke those righteous sects, but he couldn't afford to provoke Su Jie, the demon path giant, either. His face stiffened with regret over his previous confident agreement. Chen Yun disregarded what Zhao Jiahao was thinking. Regardless, she took out 2 contract documents, cooperation agreements written on them. Seizing Zhao Jiahao's hand, she dipped it in ink, pressing his fingerprint onto the paper, demonstrating a bold demon path manner. That wasn't all. Zhao Jiahao felt a slight pain in his wrist as a ring of black marks appeared. Zhao Jiahao sensed this seemed like some kind of positioning poisonous insect toxin, and in an instant, felt ashen. All right, the cooperation is settled. Your Extreme Treasure Auction House will undertake this auction business. This is a big deal worth over 10 million spirit stones, which can greatly expand your auction house's fame. So seize this opportunity well. Chun Yun stuffed one contract into her bosom, handed the other to Zhao Jiahao, and patted Zhao Jiahao's shoulder with a "you're going to benefit greatly" expression. Yes, what you say, Sister Chun. That the Saint Heir of the Ghost Ridge Palace favors us with business is the extreme honor of the Extreme Treasure Auction House. Utmost honor. A barely forced smile appeared on Zhao Jiahao's face. Yet his smile looked even worse than crying. But now he was already on the pirate ship. There was no turning back. I appreciate people who know their place. Work hard, and you won't be mistreated. Chan Yun rose, walking out of the Extreme Treasure Auction House, ready to report the good news back to Su Jie, leaving Zhao Jiahao slumped on the ground, like a person whose soul had left. However, as soon as Chun Yun exited Taifeng City, her expression instantly turned cold. Humph, truly bold. Chun Yun snorted coldly, quickly entering a forest. Several figures chased after her. They were demon cultivators from Chongzhou, placed as scouts outside various auction houses engaging in some robbery business. Chan Yun's aura and attire were different from those of Chongzhou, so these demon cultivators singled her out as an outsider, thinking to make a profit. These people were not weak in cultivation, one of them even at the Yunling Realm 9th level, a significant powerhouse elsewhere. But this time they chose the wrong target. Upon entering the forest, they suddenly screamed out as if witnessing a terrifying entity, followed by their voices quickly dissipating. Mere moments later, Chen Yun emerged once again, and the figures of those Chongzhou demon cultivators were nowhere to be seen. Two sizzling sounds came from within Chun Yun's sleeves, everything returning to tranquility. Just as Chen Yun was arranging the auction affairs, in Qing Province, events were also unfolding dramatically. Di Pingqiu, a renowned figure in Fire Cloud Palace, suddenly emerged and led an assault on a spiritual material mining site of the Guanchao Pavilion located in Qingzhou. Originally, Guanchao Pavilion had already contracted its power to guard against a possible attack from Su Jie. However, Di Pingqiu, a formidable expert of the Dao Platform Realm 4th level, led the team alongside two other Dao Platform Realm experts, totaling 3 powerful Dao Platform Realm fighters. They swiftly broke the protective array of the spiritual material mining site and destroyed it before Guanchao Pavilion's reinforcements could arrive. Subsequently, they engaged in combat with the 2 Dao Platform Realm experts from Guanchao Pavilion, using their numerical advantage to force the Guanchao Pavilion experts into a retreat. Meanwhile, in Qing Province, Fire Cloud Palace contacted various major righteous sects within Qing Province, and numerous secret realm elders led disciples out, targeting several spiritual material mining areas of the 10,000 Sword Alliance. These areas were originally seized from Fire Cloud Palace by the 10,000 Sword Alliance, taking advantage of Fire Cloud Palace's defeat and weakness after a world-shaking battle with Guanchao Pavilion 80 years ago. Fire Cloud Palace's sudden action caused intense anxiety throughout the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Having just lost Morongyu, a 3rd-level Dao Platform Realm expert, Fire Cloud Palace immediately began causing trouble, forcing the 10,000 Sword Alliance to heighten their vigilance. Needless to say, Guanchao Pavilion and Fire Cloud Palace were already sworn enemies, long anticipating such unrest from Fire Cloud Palace. In recent years, they had lost too many experts, not to mention the significant loss of disciples and secret realm elders in battles against Ghost Ridge Palace. 3 supreme elders, Zhuang Liangru, Zhao Juanda, and Zhong Xinping, had all fallen, and they were all Dao Platform Realm experts. Particularly Zhong Xinping, an experienced elder of the Dao Platform Realm 4th level, possessing a top-grade magic treasure. His death was an enormously grave blow to Guanchao Pavilion. Even though Guanchao Pavilion had a profound foundation, subsequently promoting two other long-hidden Dao platform realm experts to the forefront, one as the Pavilion Master of the Book Collection Pavilion and the other as the Master of the Firefly Sea Mountain Protection Array, maintaining the number of Supreme Elders at 4. Yet Guanchao Pavilion had exposed its vulnerability, making Fire Cloud Palace's provocation entirely expected. Faced with Fire Cloud Palace's large-scale provocation, Guanchao Pavilion could only actively mobilize its forces to cope with the immense pressure from Fire Cloud Palace. However, amid the turbulent events in Qingzhou and Qing Province, a piece of news emerged from Chongzhou. Special announcement. Extreme Treasure Auction House will hold the most extraordinary genius auction in history in 3 days, auctioning the 5 geniuses Yu Wenjing, Mo Shiyao, He Wenfeng, Jiang Lin, and Wei Qingwan. Want the Holy Daughter to warm your bed or the Divine Sun to serve you? Come and participate in this auction. This news, once spread, shook the world. In the 16 states of the Delhi dynasty, it was the first time such an absurd auction was publicly announced, outright declaring the auction of genius disciples of righteous sects. The information was quickly further confirmed because, to gain worldwide trust, Extreme Treasure Auction House had already showcased Yu Wenjing, a righteous genius, at an event. Now everyone knew Extreme Treasure Auction House was playing for real. The world knew these righteous geniuses had been captured by Su Jie, so the business of Extreme Treasure Auction House was, ultimately, controlled by Su Jie openly auctioning them. In an instant, the entire Delhi dynasty was in an uproar, countless eyes focusing on Taifeng City, eager to see what would transpire from these events. And the sects whose righteous geniuses were to be sold were even more outraged. Guanchao Pavilion. Bam! An exquisite teacup shattered on the floor, Dong Yu's face covered in a frosty demeanor. The echo of a tidal wave surged around him as though a tsunami was about to engulf the world. As a 7th realm Dao platform expert standing at the pinnacle of the Dao platform realm, he rarely displayed such intense rage, often maintaining a composed demeanor rather than losing his composure.
Su Ye.
2 words squeezed out from between his teeth, Dong Yu's gaze growing increasingly cold. Cui Wenhao stood by, equally furious. Great Elder, this Su Jie is clearly doing this on purpose. He repeatedly demanded we pay for their release before, and now, seeing we didn't act, he set up this auction himself. This devil has no sense of moral integrity or shame, entirely unscrupulous for money. Great Elder, we absolutely cannot let Su Jie succeed in holding this auction. We cannot bear such disgrace. Cui Wenhao became increasingly agitated as he spoke, knowing that as Qingzhou's righteous sect leader, Guanchao Pavilion had never endured such humiliation. He foresaw that if Su Jie truly succeeded in selling their sect's genius disciples, Guanchao Pavilion would undoubtedly become a laughingstock throughout the world, their reputation plummeting. For a person, a face is crucial, and for a sect, reputation is paramount, particularly for a righteous sect that values reputability highly. Humph. This isn't a bad thing. Su Jie exposing himself this time is also an opportunity, a chance to annihilate this devil once and for all. Dong Yu scoffed coldly, slightly regaining his composure, realizing this might be an opportunity to eliminate the devil Su Jie who had been plaguing Guanchao Pavilion. In the past, Su Jie was elusive, but now that he was openly showing himself, as long as the forces were strong enough, they could ensure he would never escape. Great Elder, are you suggesting we send someone to attend the auction and seize the opportunity to deal with Su Jie? But what about Fire Cloud Palace? Cui Wenhao expressed hesitance, speaking with hesitation. No worries, we just need a leader to go. The rest will involve coordinating with powerhouse figures of Qingzhou's righteous sections. Handling a demon path giant like Su Jie isn't just our responsibility. They too would not want a devil to be so rampant. You go and contact people, make things sound more serious. If they don't want to follow in the Purple Cloud sect's footsteps, they'd better be more attentive. Additionally, try to get in touch with the 10,000 Sword Alliance, Lingfa Temple, and Jingyu Temple. Dong Yu spoke. Guanchao Pavilion is still the leader of Qingzhou's righteous sections. Mobilizing those allied sects should not face any rejection, as the existence of Su Jie already threatens the safety of all righteous sects in Qingzhou. I understand. there shouldn't be any issues with the 10,000 Sword Alliance, but for Lingfa Temple and Jingyu Temple, time might be a bit short. They might not dare go to Chongzhou. Cui Wenhao understood, though he did not hold much hope for finding strong individuals from Jingzhou's Lingfa Temple and Jingyu Temple, despite their strength being formidable. 100 years ago, these two sects tried to enter Chongzhou to spread their teachings, making loud claims to eliminate demons from Chongzhou. However, both the Bald Monk Temple and the Nun's Nest were attacked by the demon sect within Chongzhou. The demon path has utmost disdain for those great monks and little nuns full of righteousness. The once confident Lingfa Temple and Jingyu Temple were so thoroughly defeated by Chongzhou's demon sect that they fled back to Jingzhou overnight, swearing never to step into Chongzhou again, barely appeasing the demon pursuers. This makes it doubtful whether they have the courage to enter Chongzhou now.
10,000 Sword Alliance.
The sect master of 10,000 Sword Alliance, Li Yuza, looked at the emergency letter sent back from Chongzhou. This is simply infuriating. Evil Su, does he really think our 10,000 Sword Alliance's flying swords are not sharp? After reading the entire letter, Li Yuza couldn't restrain his emotions. Furious, he slammed the table in anger. Sword chi burst from his palm, shredding the letter into scattered fragments. Beside him, Situ Hao, a fifth-layer Taoist platform realm expert, also finished reading the letter. He gritted his teeth and said, "Sect Master, this Su Jie doesn't regard us at all. By hosting this genius auction, he's blatantly slapping us in the face. The 10,000 Sword Alliance is at least the second sect in Qing province. If they remain indifferent while their talented disciples are captured and auctioned, who knows how the world would mock them." What did Guanchao Pavilion say? Li Yuza's expression was grim as he asked about Guanchao Pavilion's response. Guanchao Pavilion plans to take this opportunity to eliminate Su Jie. They will unite with strong individuals from Qingzhou, intending to deploy 5 Taoist platform realm experts, and need our cooperation. Agree to it, we will also participate, Li Yuza said without hesitation. As sword cultivators, they're known for their unwavering courage. Now that Su Jie has stepped on them, how could they possibly continue to hide? Situ, you lead the team. Take Elder Su and Elder Chun with you, and make sure to leave this demon Su Jie in Chongzhou. I will continue to oversee the sect. Li Yuza gave the command. Elder Su and Elder Chun were also Taoist platform experts. After the fall of Murongyu, the 10,000 Sword Alliance still had 3 Taoist platform realm powerhouses, and now they were mobilizing them all, showing their deep hatred for Su Jie. It's a pity that the Fire Cloud Palace has been acting crazy lately. Otherwise, I would personally take action to behead this demon Su. Li Yuza felt regretful. Recently, the Fire Cloud Palace had been forming alliances with other righteous sects in Qing province, putting immense pressure on their 10,000 Sword Alliance. He had to stay with the sect, and with the mountain protection array in place, he needed to be vigilant lest the Fire Cloud Palace suddenly turned hostile. Please rest assured, Sect Master. This time, I will surely present you with Su Jie's head on a platter. Situ Hao was full of spirit. To eliminate the demon Su Jie, they had gathered 8 Taoist platform realm experts. As soon as Su Jie showed himself, he would be doomed. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Chongzhou, Taifeng City. On this day, Taifeng City was exceptionally bustling. The highly anticipated genius auction was set to officially start today. This auction had attracted much attention and many eyes. Even before the auction began, various forces arrived one after another. A genius auction, interesting, really interesting. Above the sky dome of Taifeng City, a demon beast, 100 meters long with 3 ferocious dragon heads, flew here. This was a powerful demon beast, akin to the strength of a secret realm 5th level. Yet such a demon beast was merely someone else's mount. On the back, a man in a black robe sits cross-legged, his gaze deep, like an abyss. As he slowly rises and steps into the air, heading towards Taifeng City, the surrounding air seems to begin twisting. It's the sect master of Illusion Tower, Fu Renmu. Many loose cultivators who came just for the excitement exclaimed in surprise. This was a well-known demon path magnate in Chongzhou, a strong Taoist platform realm practitioner. Illusion Tower is also one of Chongzhou's established demon sect, existing for over 1,000 years, and this sect master is a Taoist platform realm third-layer powerhouse. TSK. Bo Renmu, you old ghost, you're here too. Another voice came from the sky as a woman flew in. This woman is extremely beautiful, with a pair of peach blossom eyes that emitted a subtle seductive allure as she glanced around. Her long black hair cascaded like a waterfall down to her waist, and a sheer garment lightly draped on her shoulders swayed gently in the wind, occasionally revealing snow-white delicate skin underneath. Even just a glance from an outsider would make their body feel warm, swelling with desire, influenced by her imperceptible bewitching technique. The woman is from the Desire Sect, and she is the Desire Sect's supreme elder named Yen Yuru, also a Taoist platform realm expert. The loose cultivators watching felt their mouths dry and throat parched. Though they had heard of the Desire Sect's rumors of absorbing men into dry husks, the ultimate allure still made it difficult for them to look away. It's rare to see the righteous sect suffer. How could I miss such a spectacle? Bo Renmu looked at Yen Yuru. As a powerhouse, he would not easily succumb to the bewitching technique like other little cultivators. An event of such magnitude wouldn't be complete without the Blood Demon Cave. A blood cloud floated in from afar, emitting a crimson light and a thick smell of blood, dyeing the sky with an eerie red glow. In the next moment, the blood cloud shrank violently, revealing an elderly man in a red robe. This is the Supreme Elder from Blood Demon Cave, Jiang Kai, also a Taoist platform realm powerhouse. One by one, Chongzhou's demon path forces arrived, but those from other forces were mostly secret realm elders. Because the auction is held in Chongzhou, those who came are mostly Chongzhou's demon sect. Other righteous sects would not dare to auction other people's talents so blatantly. But the demon sect didn't care that much because these talents are mostly divine bodies and holy bodies, which are of infinite use in demon path cultivation, which often emphasizes people-oriented. For example, Desire Sect captures talented disciples and uses their divine body as furnaces to greatly speed up cultivation. As noon arrives and the auction is about to begin, changes appear in the sky once again. In the sky, the clouds slowly open like a heavy curtain, revealing a massively large flying magical boat. On its sides, countless circulating talismans are scattered. Each rune contains powerful mana, emitting a faint blue glow. On the mast of the magic boat, a flag is hung high. The flag's pattern is a ferocious and terrifying thousand-hand centipede, looking lifelike, with countless pale corpse hands seeming about to crawl out of the pattern and wrap around people. The main player has arrived. Everyone in Taifeng City was drawn to the sight. Such a distinctive flying magical boat has been widely known since Su Jie became famous. This is the vehicle of Su Jie, the giant of Qingzhou. As the magic boat slowly descends, the mountains and rivers below seem to be pulled by an invisible force, with ripples on the water, startled birds taking flight, and the distant forest echoing a gentle rustling sound. With the descent of the magic boat, a sense of irresistible oppression slowly increases, as if the vehicle of a supreme god had descended upon the mortal realm. The cultivators in Taifeng City all looked up in reverence, engaging in whispered discussions among themselves. Of course, those secret realm elders revealed more envy. A flying magical boat as an awe-inspiring vehicle is a dream for every cultivator, but due to its expensive cost and difficulty in manufacturing, most cultivators can only dream about it, unable to truly possess it. Haha, I hope I'm not late. As the flying magical boat landed, a loud laugh echoed across the scene, revealing Su Jie from the magic boat. Everyone's eyes were on Su Jie, and the three Taoist platform realm experts felt a thrill in their hearts, sensing an overwhelming presence enveloping them, elevating their evaluation of Su Jie to another level. The scene was quiet for a moment, until Yen Yuru pursed her lips and smiled gently, displaying a myriad of charms. Mr. Su, truly a hero of the demon path. Such flair is indeed awe-inspiring. As she spoke, her enchanting eyes continued to scrutinize Su Jie up and down. Her gaze as soft as water, and her curved red lips could easily lead one into a daydream. Su Jie looked at her, his face showing a forced smile, and said, From the Desire sect? That unique seductive demeanor, the contrast between purity and allure, made Su Jie recognize the woman's background at a glance. Yen Yuru of the Desire sect. I have met Mr. Su. Although Mr. Su doesn't recognize me, I've long heard of your great name, destroying the Purple Mist sect, suppressing and killing the Supreme Elders of Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance, and selling off the genius disciples of the righteous sects. Each and every deed truly fills this little girl with admiration. You have greatly proclaimed the fame of our demon path. Even in our Chongzhou, there are not many who could match up to you. You will certainly be a leading figure in our demon path in the future. Yen Yuru's smile was radiant, her gaze full of admiration, and in her words, she extolled Su Jie exceedingly. If anyone unaware heard Yen Yuru's words, they might indeed feel quite pleased with themselves. But Su Jie, he was too familiar with the Desire sect. The other party had always been drooling over his body. Yes, the literal kind of drooling, wanting to drain him dry. The grudge with the Desire sect could be traced back to Su Jie's respectable senior disciple Yuan Xian. Quite a few Desire sect members had died at Su Jie's hands, including several secret realm elders and the sect's contemporary holy daughter, a certain Chu Shuixin, whose head was shattered by Su Jie's palm and sent into the honored seat of the 10,000 soul banner by him, dying a horrendous death. One could say the grudge between Su Jie and the Desire sect is a well-known tale. Su Jie didn't believe she didn't know about this and suspected she was playing dumb. Yet, Su Jie didn't expose it directly, enjoying the act as he played along, returning her smile. The way you put it, I'm a bit embarrassed. In terms of the demon path, Chongzhou is still stronger. Such a reputation is beyond my means. Su Jie modestly stepped back, but there was indeed someone who took it seriously. Jiang Kai from the Blood Demon Cave snorted coldly, his gaze icy as he glared at Su Jie. Elder Yen, you are overpraising him, aren't you? I think his notorious reputation may not rely on true power, but rather the blood sea-devouring sky demon's skill. As he spoke, blood surged from his body, seeping through all 36,000 of his pores drop by drop, looking extremely terrifying. Su Jie, I've heard you also have the blood sea-devouring sky demon skill. Tell me exactly where you learned it from. With a sudden shout, Jiang Kai pressed step by step towards Su Jie, his icy gaze as sharp as a blade, sending a chill down one's spine. The blood sea-devouring sky demon skill is the fundamental skill of their blood demon cave, yet it appeared on Su Jie from the Qingzhou demon path. More importantly, their holy son Chang Shiyang had mysteriously disappeared after attending the 300th birthday celebration of the Heavenly Soul Sect Master, with no news to this day. Before his disappearance, Chang Shiyang had a conflict with Su Jie and was extorted of 5 million spirit stones for it. Many demon sects that had attended the Heavenly Soul Sect celebration knew the inside story, making it hard for the Blood Demon Cave not to be suspicious. You? Who gave you the courage to question me like this? Do you have the qualification? Su Jie's face instantly turned cold, extending his right hand forward. Boom! A brilliant light erupted from Su Jie's palm, countless pale corpse hands stacked together forming a gigantic corpse hand, looming over Jiang Kai's head, ready to crush down like gripping an ant. Su Jie's temper seemed even more violent than Jiang Kai's, as if he were the one interrogating, taking the initiative with a stance ready to smash someone into meat paste with one palm. Heavenly might. Jiang Kai's face changed drastically, though he had the cultivation of the third level of Taoist platform. The enormous corpse hand made his heart shudder. Originally, he thought the rumor that Su Jie killed Zhong Xinping might have been exaggerated, perhaps orchestrated with the help of powerful individuals like the sect master of the Ghost Ridge Palace, attributing the achievement to Su Jie on purpose to promote him as a devilish immortal seed. After all, Su Jie's age was too young, his rise to fame too quick, always giving the impression of shaky foundations. Managing to break through the Taoist platform realm was already remarkable, let alone directly killing Zhong Xinping. But now, facing Su Jie directly in combat, Jiang Kai realized rumors might not be false. As Jiang Kai's heavenly might was released, the sky changed color as innumerable thunderbolts roared and descended, forming a gigantic thunder tiger that roared up to the sky. However, playing with something like thunder in front of Su Jie, Wasn't that like showing off a big knife in front of Guan Gong? Purple cloud heavenly thunder burst forth from the corpse's hand, causing the thunder tiger to wither as if suppressed by a natural enemy. And when smashed down by the corpse's hand, it instantly burst and exploded, with the splintering lightning being absorbed by the purple cloud heavenly thunder, further enhancing its might. Jiang Kai's face was extremely ugly as he watched the gigantic pale corpse hand, over 100 meters in size, pressing down on him, with no choice other than to use his true skill. Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill. With a boom, Jiang Kai shattered into pieces, his body transforming into a blood lake. The corpse hand smashed into the blood lake, causing 1,000 blood waves to surge, countless blood being evaporated, leaving a massive part of the blood lake cleared out. Yet the feature of the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill lies here, its defense capability being exceptionally strong. Jiang Kai's figure appeared above the blood lake. He had cultivated the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill to the 5th level, transforming all the blood in his body into holy blood, reaching the stage of body transformation Blood Sea. As long as the Blood Sea existed, he could not die. The cultivators watching were stunned. The Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill was notorious even in Chongzhou. Judging by Jiang Kai's Blood Sea level, who knows how much blood he has absorbed. The dense stench of blood permeated far, making people sick. This is the real Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill. Where did you steal it from? Speak truthfully. Jiang Kai regained his confidence. Even if he couldn't defeat Su Jie, relying on the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill, he believed he could escape. You call that the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill? Then what do you call this? Su Jie seemed to hear something amusing. His back split open, and drops of holy blood gushed out. Each drop of holy blood seemed to weigh thousands of tons, transforming into a vast lake. In the blink of an eye, a real blood sea manifested, its area dozens of times larger than Jiang Kai's blood lake. It was as if the world was left with only the striking crimson. The boundless blood sea rolled, its waves turbulent, as if countless vengeful souls were moaning and wailing within it. Su Jie stood by the blood sea, his robes flapping in the wind. The spectacle of the blood sea moved with his breath. Invisible tides of blood circled around him like living creatures, sometimes morphing into various menacing and terrifying blood demons, making the entire scene appear distorted and eerie. Silence. The scene turned quiet. Su Jie's creation of the blood sea was utterly terrifying. Jiang Kai's blood lake seemed like a mere pond in comparison, not on the same level at all. Not to mention other cultivators. Even Jiang Kai was dumbfounded, trembling as he spoke. How? How can there be such a powerful blood sea? Even the sect master isn't this strong. This must be an illusion. Jiang Kai was nearly biting off his own tongue in shock, feeling his worldview rewritten. He couldn't believe what he saw before him. This is not an illusion. However, Bo Rimu shook his head. Their illusion tower was the master of illusion techniques. With his insight, Su Jie's creation was definitely not an illusion but a genuine blood sea. Now, looking at Su Jie, his gaze grew serious, even a bit reverent, grateful he didn't provoke him. Originally, he had a thought to measure Su Jie, the Qingzhou Demon Path cultivator, but now it seemed, had he really made that move, it would only have resulted in his own disgrace. Impossible. Definitely impossible. What virtues and abilities does he have to cultivate the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill to such a level? Jiang Kai's pupils trembled, inwardly accepting the reality, but unwilling to admit it aloud. He had worked diligently all his life in the Blood Demon Cave, been assigned territories of several cities to ensure the blood slaves provide fresh blood periodically, along with occasional expeditions for plunder. Took him years, undergoing hardships, to cultivate the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill to the 5th level. This was already remarkable in the Blood Demon Cave, as even the sect master had only reached the 6th level. But what was Su Jie doing, the level of this Blood Sea, not to mention himself, even the sect master of the Blood Demon Cave, this Taoist platform realm 5th layer master, couldn't reach such an exaggerated level. It was at least the 7th level of the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill. How many people must he have killed? How much blood absorbed to cultivate to such a degree? Jiang Kai's face alternated between blue and purple, Finding Su Jie's methods too vicious, he wondered if Su Jie had slaughtered half of Qingzhou's population to cultivate the Blood Sea devouring sky demon skill. Your petty blood lake. Don't make a fool of yourself with it. Su Jie's lips curled into a cold smile, showing disdain and contempt for Jiang Kai's fervently created blood lake. Do you understand the true value of billions of people supplying blood? While the blood demon cave still supplied blood on the scale of millions, Su Jie was already calculating blood supplies in billions. The concepts were entirely different. As he spoke, the blood sea behind Su Jie surged like a tide, rushing towards Jiang Kai's area, wildly roaring, painting the earth in blood light, crimson-red soil, as if blood were bubbling up. Jiang Kai's transformed blood lake had no chance of resistance, rapidly dissolving into Su Jie's blood sea. Jiang Kai fled without looking back. The blood lake was his holy blood, now devoured by the blood sea. His entire body visibly withered, and the blood lake shrank rapidly. Bang! The pale corpse hand, controlled by Su Jie, struck Jiang Kai's back with a palm. Puff! Jiang Kai spewed a mouthful of fresh blood, countless bones shattered within him. Yet he dared not pause. His entire body melded into the blood lake, using momentum to escape even faster. Su Jie did not pursue. Today's focus was the auction. He didn't want complications. Chasing the opponent could potentially lose the real target. The blood sea continued to surge. Su Jie stood above it, displaying his supreme power and cold authority, surrounded worshipfully by onlookers. Such a short confrontation frightened Jiang Kai, the strong man of the blood demon cave, into fleeing chaotically, proving Su Jie's strength. In the eyes of strong demon cultivators who revered power, Su Jie earned respect from everyone. This person so strong. Yan Yuru's eyes flashed, her heart beating anxiously. Bo Renmu likewise felt secretly relieved. This drifter from afar, thankfully he hadn't provoked him. Ladies and gentlemen, now that the unexpected issues have been resolved, let's start the auction officially. Su Jie smiled brightly as the sea of blood gradually converged, merging into his body. No one had any objections anymore. Su Jie's display of power was intimidating enough to ensure everyone listened obediently to his words. Under Su Jie's command on the flying magical boat, Chun Yun led a group of Ghost Ridge Palace disciples to escort Mo Shiyao, Yu Wenjing, Zhang Lin, He Wenfeng, and Wei Qingwan, 5 talented disciples, down. The appearance of these 5 disciples immediately shifted the focus of the crowd. TSK, those are the geniuses of the righteous sect, truly an eye-opener today. Isn't it? Before, it was always the righteous sect capturing our demon cultivators to parade them around, and now they have their own geniuses being auctioned off by us. Just thinking about it makes me feel exhilarated. That's Qingzhou's #1 beauty, Mo Shiyao, isn't it? She's stunningly beautiful. If I had the money, I'd spend my entire fortune to buy her in the auction. Day in and day out. Haha. Zhang Lin isn't bad either. Those long legs are killer. Wei Qingwan is even better. Look at her demeanor, firm and unyielding. I just love training such proud sword cultivator girls. You all are so vulgar. If you ask me, Yu Wenjing is better. Ranked 14th with the obsidian scale body, capturing him for cultivation is truly beneficial. He Wenfeng is not bad either. Okay? A monk who has been eating vegetarian food and chanting Buddha's name for years. His physical body is imbued with Buddha essence, his primordial spirit gathering Buddha light. Indulging in that would be quite pleasurable. The taste must be good. The demon cultivators watching had bright eyes, commenting and giving their opinions on the righteous sect's talented disciples. Mo Shiyao and the others already looked ashen-faced, being picked and chosen like livestock, which anyone would find unbearable, let alone these proud and haughty talented disciples. Upon learning that they were being auctioned, they truly wished they could die, yearning to risk their lives against Su Jie. But unfortunately, they could not do anything about it, not even speak, as their bodies were sealed with a prohibition. As the group was brought into the Extreme Treasure Auction House in Taifeng City, Su Jie took a seat up front, and representatives dispatched by various demon sect forces also seated themselves, marking the official commencement of this exceptionally unique gifted auction. The auctioneer was Zhao Jiahao, the shopkeeper of the Extreme Treasure Auction House itself. Because no one else in the auction house was willing to take on this auction, he had to step up himself. Bam! The small hammer struck once more. Zhao Jiahao coughed dryly, speaking with a serious expression. Firstly, thank you to Saint Air Su for his strong support of our Extreme Treasure Auction House, enabling this gifted auction. Additionally, thank you to each demon sect for coming to support and participate in the auction. I won't say much. Let's bring on our auction items. As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Shiryao and the other 5 talented disciples were escorted onto the auction stage one by one. The crystal spotlights shone on them. Their expressions of shame, hostility, sorrow, and pain were fully displayed for the audience below. Auction item number 1, Mo Shiryao, a gifted disciple from Miao Yin Temple in Qingzhou. This young lady is extraordinary, reaching the first level of secret realm cultivation at a young age. Her mastery of the heavenly sound skill is unparalleled, and her qin playing skill is also unrivaled. Besides her outstanding talent, she holds the title of Qingzhou's #1 beauty and is being cultivated as the future sect master of Miao Yin Temple. Zhao Jiahao eloquently introduced on stage. The auction followed a price order, with Mo Shiryao being auctioned first due to her comparatively lower strength, followed by more expensive items later. Mo Shiryao's pretty face was flushed red, her delicate body trembling with excessive rage. Her beautiful eyes widened immensely, wishing she could find a hole to hide in on the spot. After the introduction was finished, Zhao Jiahao struck the small hammer again. Our first auction item starts at 3 million spirit stones. Let's begin the bidding. 3,200,000. Someone in the audience immediately raised their paddle, increasing the bid by 20,000 spirit stones. 3,300,000. 3,500,000. 3,800,000. The price surged rapidly, soon approaching the 5 million spirit stones mark. At this point, there were considerably fewer bidders. After all, buying a talented disciple is, beyond satisfying one's own vanity, mainly for cultivation purposes, having value in use. Demon cultivators aren't fools. They have their own evaluation system. In their opinion, Mo Shiryao is worth no more than this price. 4,800,000. First call. 4,800,000. Second call. 4,800,000. Third call. Great. Congratulations to Sky Wolf Village for snatching the opener. The first auction item is yours. Zhao Jiahao made a definite strike, determining Mo Shiryao's fate. In the audience, an elder with celestial demeanor stroked his white beard. He is an elder of Sky Wolf Village. Sky Wolf Village specializes in nurturing a unique wolf-type demon beast, which if nourished from a young age with the blood of a divine body, especially the secret realm divine body's blood, would have higher growth potential, so they chose to purchase Mo Shiryao. Mainly, Sky Wolf Village has moderate strength, and they can't afford anything too expensive. Mo Shiryao's face was ashen, as if she envisioned her own end. But the scene was filled with demon cultivators, individuals with cruel and twisted dispositions who essentially have no sympathy. When the righteous sect eradicates their demon path, it has always been, there's no need to speak about morality with devils, everyone alongside, leaving no room for demon cultivators. Soon, one auction item followed another, with the closing prices rising higher and higher. Finally, when it was Yu Wenjing's turn, his 14th-ranked divine body, obsidian scale body, was sold for a total of 850,000 spirit stones. The ones who won the bids for Yu Wenjing and He Wenfeng, these two genius disciples, are Yen Yuru from the Desire sect. The Desire sect consists entirely of female cultivators. Buying females back would be useless. Only males can be used as cauldrons. It's a pity that Zhang Xinming, a righteous sect immortal seed, has already fallen. Otherwise, if he were an auction item, the selling price would easily exceed 10 million spirit stones. Su Jie quietly watched from below the stage. None of these selling prices moved him in the slightest. Compared to these spirit stones, Su Jie's true appetite is far beyond this. In the back row of the auction, 5 figures sat together. They are from a sect in Chongzhou called Iron Shadow Valley. This time, they sent an elder with 4 disciples. Bidding at the auction site was fierce. Although their sect isn't strong, they were particularly generous in bidding and successfully won Wei Qingwan, attracting many Chongzhou Demon Path cultivators' attention, confused about why Iron Shadow Valley suddenly became so extravagant. But outsiders don't know that these 5 cultivators from Iron Shadow Valley have already been swapped, a leopard cat substituting for the crown prince. Their true identities are from Guanchao Pavilion, featuring Supreme Elder Zhao Bilong, a Taoist Platform Realm 5th Layer expert, and the other 4 are also Taoist Platform Realm experts from Qingzhou. Zhao Bilong had been in seclusion for years, only presiding over Guanchao Pavilion's Firefly Sea Mountain Protection Array, not having shown his face for decades. Later, due to the consecutive falling of 3 Supreme Elders, he had to come out of seclusion to take over the position. This time, he brought 4 Taoist Platform Realm experts from Qingzhou here because Su Jie possesses the Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill. To completely annihilate Su Jie, one must use a formation to trap him and then exhaust him step by step to fully destroy him. Zhao Bilong is adept in formations, and this time he holds a spiritual treasure, prepared a lethal formation, intending to utterly destroy Su Jie. Prepare to act. Zhao Bilong had been restraining himself, watching those sect geniuses being auctioned without choosing to act immediately, instead waiting for the opportunity. Now that the auction ends, these auction-successful sect powers are beginning to step onto the stage to accept their purchases. Su Jie, the root of all calamity, is still conversing with each successful bidder, almost befriending them. Zhao Bilong stepped forward, the 4 Taoist Platform Realm experts following closely. Friends from Iron Shadow Valley, nice to meet you. Thanks for supporting our business. If there are good items for auction next time, I hope everyone will come and support us. With a radiant smile on his face, Su Jie listened, making Zhao Bilong want to kill Su Jie immediately. This fellow even wants to host another genius auction. Not at all, Su Saint, your demon technique is unparalleled. In the future, we still rely on Su Saint to promote the might of our demon path. Zhao Bilong smiled and stepped forward, pretending to be familiar, trying to put his arm around Su Jie's shoulder. Speaking of which, our Iron Shadow Valley would like to invite Su Saint to our sect to preach for several days, to expand our disciples' knowledge. We hope Su Sect Master will honor us. Of course, the reward is definitely generous. In the right sleeve of Zhao Bilong's outstretched hand, a spirit talisman slid out. It was a spirit treasure talisman called Tianxian Demon Suppression Talisman. Once attached, it burrows into the flesh and the primordial spirit. Even a peerless demon beast must be suppressed, its spiritual power cut off, its primordial spirit eroded, and its full strength halved. What are you saying? Of course, I'd love to relieve Iron Shadow Valley disciples of their worries and doubts. But Iron Shadow Valley indeed needs to invite me for real. Su Jie casually shook his head, avoiding Zhao Bilong's outreaching hand. Zhao Bilong was stunned, then saw Su Jie's face turn cold. Su Jie's eyes suddenly stared at him tightly, those bright yet cold eyes seemingly piercing straight into the soul, issuing a loud shout. Bold fiend! With one glance, I see you are not human. Show your true form immediately. From within Su Jie's sleeve, a huge blood-red mouth roared out, its upper palate touching the ceiling, rancid wind blown in its wake, aiming to swallow Zhao Bilong whole. Not good. Zhao Bilong's entire body flashed with escape light, disappearing instantly from the original spot. In the next moment, the huge mouth slammed shut with a boom. The air bitten and exploded, ceiling and floor disappearing in large chunks, strong winds blowing many in the auction hall off balance. The entire auction hall erupted into chaos, watching the 1,000-handed centipede's head emerge from Su Jie's sleeve, shattering the auction hall. Many hadn't reacted to what happened. When did you discover it? Zhao Bilong's face was ugly, his invisibility engraved with dense array patterns on his body. Using it as an array, generally making it difficult for Taoist Platform Realm experts to see through. Just petty tricks. In front of my eyes, any disguise is futile and laughable. Su Jie's lips slightly curled, His primordial spirit is immensely powerful. His Dharma form is chaos. A major feature of the chaos Dharma form is a single eye. Its true form, a divine pupil, penetrates the 33 heavens above and the 9 nether below, truly peerless in its marvel. Mere array-pattern disguises cannot hide from him. If that's the case, then let's face you head-on. I am Zhao Bilong from Guanchao Pavilion, Sujie. Today is the day this devil meets his end. Zhao Bilong's entire being exploded with aura, layers of disguise peeling away, revealing the domineering aura of a Taoist platform realm 5th layer expert.
Qingzhou Dragon Roar Palace, Duan 8.
Qingzhou Tianqing Pavilion, Qi Huimu. Qingzhou Yunhai Cave, Gu Miaoqing. Qingzhou Julia Castle, Kai Wei. My colleagues and friends from Qingzhou, today, at this moment, we shall eliminate this peerless devil-troubling Qingzhou. The other 4 experts from Qingzhou, Taoist platform realm experts, also revealed their true forms, unleashing their Taoist platform realm might across the entire venue. Su Mo, your methods are cruel and despicable. You assaulted my wife, Murongyu, this enmity. Today I must avenge, using your head to honor my wife. Additionally, outside 3 figures flew in, led by one with sword intent piercing the sky, also a Taoist platform realm 5th layer expert, Situ Hao, Great Elder of the 10,000 Sword Alliance. The other 2 are the Supreme Elders of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, Su Zhe and Chun Yue. A total of 8 Taoist platform realm experts showed their visage, except for Su Jie. The demon cultivators at the auction were numb, each staring blankly at the 8 imposing righteous Taoist platform realm cultivators as if the sky were falling. The only ones feeling joy were Mo Shiryao and 5 other genius disciples who had originally resigned to their fate, considering life dull and dark, never imagining this sudden spectacle. They were all jumping excitedly, constantly waving over here. Su Jie quietly watched the 8 Taoist platform realm experts. Such power is something he cannot confront directly. But fortunately, Su Jie is not alone. Facing such an almost certain death scenario, Su Jie gently clapped his hands, laughing wildly twice. Want to encircle and kill me, haha, whose encircling whom is yet to be determined. Everyone, come out and greet some old friends. As soon as the words fell, from outside the auction hall, another wave of devilish light shot skyward, overwhelming ferocious might ravaging all around. Haha! Guanchao Pavilion, 10,000 Sword Alliance, dear old friends, long time no see. Accompanied by 2 bursts of mad laughter, 5 figures stood in mid-air. Taking the lead was a cultivator in a purple Taoist robe, his face rugged and chiseled, and his eyes blazing like 2 balls of fire. Zhang Chunfeng. Upon seeing this person, Zhao Bilong, Situ Hao, and other righteous cultivators turned pale. This man before them was no ordinary person. He was the great elder of Fire Cloud Palace. His flames were incomparably pure, having once absorbed the dragon flame, known as the Fire Dragon Taoist. His cultivation was at the 5th level of the Taoist platform realm, the 2nd in command at Fire Cloud Palace. Fire Cloud Palace's ability to face the threats from Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance was largely due to his existence. The other 3 standing with Zhang Chunfeng were also strong cultivators from Fire Cloud Palace, including Di Pingqiu, a Taoist platform 4th level expert. You, Fire Cloud Palace, dare to collude with evil demons. Aren't you afraid of being held accountable by the world? Zhao Bilong quickly figured out that this was a premeditated trap, shamelessly set by this so-called righteous sect from Qing province, collaborating with Su Jie. Zhang Chunfeng, your Fire Cloud Palace claims to be the leader of righteousness in Qing province yet cooperates with demons. Where is your conscience? Situ Hao was equally shocked and angry. The appearance of those from Fire Cloud Palace suddenly put them at a significant disadvantage. What are you 2 talking about? I don't know any Su Jie. I'm here solely to settle the grudges between us, and other matters have nothing to do with Fire Cloud Palace. Zhang Chunfeng's mouth curled into a cold smile, his flaming eyes scanning the crowd. His words angered Zhao Bilong and righteous cultivators, utterly shameless. Guanchao Pavilion, we also need to settle our past grudges. You've bullied my sect's Saint Heir, and as the sect master, I need to confront you today. Beside Su Jie, high above in the sky, a swirling insect cloud descended as Zhang Junwei, the sect master of Ghost Ridge Palace, appeared on the scene. Haha, our heavenly soul sect has also come to assist. Today, we Qingzhou Demon Path will have a good face-off with Qingzhou's righteous sections. Another figure appeared, dressed in a black robe, filled with sinister energy. It was Lu Jingshi, the sect master of the Heavenly Soul sect, appearing near the auction. Zhang Junwei coming over was to be expected, as Su Jie's affairs were now synonymous with Ghost Ridge Palaces. As for the Heavenly Soul sect, Lu Jingshi was convinced by Su Jie's notion that the best defense is a good offense. To resolve the issue of the Heavenly Soul sect being besieged by the righteous sects, the strategy was simply to beat the enemy half to death, making it hard for them to attack us. Thus, Lu Jingshi brought supplies with him to assist in the battle. Now, Su Jie's side had gathered its helpers, also totaling 8 Taoist platform realm cultivators. The combined forces of both sides amounted to 16 Taoist platform realm powerhouses, concentrating nearly all of Qingzhou's and Chongzhou's high-end combat power here. Inside the Extreme Treasure Auction House in Taifeng City, the demon cultivators from Chongzhou were dumbfounded. This scene made their hearts stop momentarily. 16 Taoist platform realm powerhouses gathered, poised for battle, clearly marking them as cannon fodder. Instantly, the demon cultivators started moving swiftly, making a quick escape to avoid becoming collateral damage. Yen Yiru and Bo Renmu, both Taoist platform realm demon cultivators, exchanged glances and hurriedly fled, not even bothering to collect the auction items they had paid for. With 8 righteous Taoist platform realm cultivators present, they did not want to stand out. At this moment, the smiles of Mo Shiryao and her companions disappeared. Su Jie had gathered such powerful reinforcements, beyond their imagination, realizing this battle could determine the future trends of Qingzhou and Chongzhou. The incident sparked by their auction would become the catalyst for the turbulent changes between the two great provinces, Qingzhou and Chongzhou. Situ Hao and the others' expressions changed repeatedly, their faces turning livid as they looked at Su Jie's group, feeling an ominous premonition in their hearts. Although the numbers appeared equivalent, Su Jie's sleeve harbored the flying centipede, and the ghost bride at his side was combat power terror, equivalent to a Taoist platform realm. Meanwhile, Lu Jingshi had also brought out his strongest fierce ghost, the Earth Evil Ghost, an 8th grade fierce ghost. Upon appearing, this 8th grade fierce ghost first faced Han Ruyan, bowing slightly, seemingly in worship. In Zhang Junwei's hand, he also held a jade box. The jade box was crafted from stardust mysterious jade, a top-tier spiritual material for crafting spiritual treasures. Patriarch. The Patriarch is awake. Zhang Junwei called several times, and the jade box slowly opened from the inside. Inside the ice silkworm's silk-lined nest, a goo worm about the size of an infant's fist, entirely translucent white like the purest amber, appeared before the people. Its body structure showed rings upon rings, numbering in thousands, resembling the annual rings of a tree. This was the ancestor of Ghost Ridge Palace, the renowned 9th grade goo worm, the annual ringworm. Seeing the annual ringworm, the righteous cultivators present grew even more uneasy. Seeing this creature even made Situ Hao and Zhao Bilong's hearts tremble, causing their legs to shake. If not for the annual ringworm's need for long hibernation, always falling asleep after one move, its threat level would not be less than that of a 7th realm Taoist platform strength, perhaps even greater in combat power. Zhang Junwei even invited the sect's ancestral elder, showing the importance of this battle. In the blink of an eye, Su Jie's side, besides 8 Taoist platform realm cultivators, had the assistance of 2 ghosts and 2 insects, instantly overwhelming the righteous cultivators in terms of numbers and combat power. Iya! Iya! The annual ringworm lifted its plump upper body, making a sound. ZZ, ZZ, ZZ. The 1,000-hand centipede responded enthusiastically, communicating with the annual ringworm. No one knew what the 1,000-hand centipede said, but the annual ringworm lazily crawled out of the ice silkworm silk nest, its plump body moving slowly like a lazy fat house cat. its sesame-sized eyes focused on the 8 strong Taoist platform realm cultivators of the righteous path and opened its small mouth. Bang! 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 Bang!
Bang!
The sect master from Qingzhou Dragon Roar Palace, a Taoist platform realm 3rd-level expert, Duan Hui, had countless spirit talismans and magical treasures spiritual light on him suddenly flare up, only to shatter instantly. His body underwent horrifying changes. His skin resembled old tree bark, and annual ring markings emerged on his scalp, spreading all over his body, as his skin began to peel off layer by layer. Underneath each layer of peeling skin revealed not blood-drenched muscle fibers but rather newer, tender skin. His body caved in layer by layer, becoming smaller, as if turning back time from middle age to youth, teenager, and finally a child. His strength regressed along with it, dropping step by step from the Taoist platform realm to the secret realm, and then to the Yunling realm. Strange and terrifying, everyone witnessing it felt a chill down their spine. "Save me!" Duan Hui's eyes were filled with terror. The annual ringworm had chosen him as its target. Although this creature could only strike once, each attack either killed or severely injured a Taoist platform realm expert. Unluckily, he was the chosen victim. There was no visible trace of how the annual ringworm's attack worked, yet the strange nature of it left this Taoist platform realm 3rd-level expert as vulnerable as a babbling child. Retreat! Yet, Zhao Bilong and Situ Hao exchanged a glance and chose retreat, because they realized their odds in a frontal confrontation were lower than their adversaries' chances. 7 Taoist platform realm elders swiftly fled into the distance, abandoning the hopeless Duan Hui, who couldn't escape the annual ringworm's power. His body continued the bizarre shedding until he became the size of a newborn baby, then eventually collapsed into a seed that fell to the ground. The moment the seed hit the ground, it began to root and sprout into a person-tall tree, perfectly resembling Duan Hui except his feet had become roots, arms turned into branches, and hair into tender shoots. Duan Hui's life completely dissipated along with it. After completing all this, the annual ringworm yawned. Its plump body rolled back into the jade box, which closed as it drifted back to sleep, ignoring everything outside. Abandoning their own companions like this, is this what the righteous path is about? Truly laughable. Su Jie watched Zhao Bilong and others fleeing, a mocking smile playing at his lips. Chase them. Today, let's make Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance bleed dry. Don't let anyone escape. Zhang Chenfeng charged ahead to lead the pursuit. Su Jie rode on the 1,000-hand centipede, and the other Taoist platform realm cultivators each used their skills. In fact, Zhao Bilong and the others could not escape. Su Jie and his team had painstakingly set this trap, and if they got away so easily, it would have wasted a meticulously crafted plan. Shortly after both sides left Taifeng City, an array formation symbols on the ground ahead illuminated before Zhao Bilong's group. The clouds twisted into thick iron walls, blocking their path. This was a formation secretly set by Fire Cloud Palace. They also had experts proficient in formations. While these iron walls couldn't fully block Zhao Bilong and his group, they delayed them long enough for Su Jie and his team to catch up. "We can't escape. We have to fight our way through first. Attack!" Seeing the situation, Zhao Bilong from Guanchao Pavilion knew he couldn't run further and had to engage in battle. With a flash of light from the storage bag at his waist, he retrieved a treasure. This was a treasure staff over 2 meters long, coiled with 2 true dragons whose heads emerged from the staff, while the top embedded a treasure bead, symbolizing dragons playing with a pearl. It was a low-grade spirit treasure called the Sea-Suppressing Double Dragon Staff, vast in power, rumored to carry the force of overturning rivers and seas. When Zhao Bilong slammed the Sea-Suppressing Double Dragon Staff down, the world seemed to turn upside down. The ground upheaved layer by layer. A void filled with emerald sea waves rose like an unlimited ocean. Zhao Bilong himself tossed out numerous array plates, occupying the 8 points of the heavens and earth, with the sea-suppressing double dragon staff as the array's core, as though the sky and earth were covered by endless waves, creating a super formation. Initially intended to deal with Su Jie, this formation was now Zhao Bilong's means of self-preservation. Humph! You scum from Guanchao Pavilion. Prepare to die. Zhang Qinfeng wasn't about to let Zhao Bilong run rampant. He too pulled out a treasure from his storage bag. This was a golden ring inscribed with countless talismans. Upon appearing, torrents of heat washed over, turning the ground beneath into flowing magma. It was the 7 Luminary Star Lord ring, also a low-grade spirit treasure, no less powerful than the sea-suppressing double dragon staff. Great solar star. Zhang Qinfeng released the ring, and it flew to hover above his head like a scorching sun, emitting supreme radiance, pressuring those present to the brink of suffocation. The void ignited. The earth swelled into volcanoes one after another. Ejections of flames and magma erupted like the most splendid fireworks on earth, evaporating tons upon tons of seawater. Spiritual treasures are weapons used by Purple Mansion realm cultivators and can only be refined by them. Both Guanchao Pavilion and Fire Cloud Palace had produced Purple Mansion realm great powers, leaving these low-grade spirit treasures as their sex heritage. The confrontation between the 2 low-grade spirit treasures was intense. The 7 Luminaries Star Lord ring radiated vast power. Zhang Qinfeng walked through the air under its protection, his aura as overwhelming as mountains from the 9 heavens, like a truly descending sun, igniting everything in its path and reigning over the battlefield as the ultimate ruler of flames. Zhao Bilong could no longer afford to help others. He wielded the sea-suppressing double dragon staff and, with a heavy gesture, pointed ahead. Instantly, mountains rose and seas surged. The sky and earth transformed, turbulent waves roaring, 2 true dragons swirling around the staff as a treasure bead at the top shimmered brightly, playing the role of a pearl between dragons. This was indeed a low-grade spirit treasure, named the sea-suppressing double dragon staff, entwined with 2 true dragons. The staff, with dragon heads swallowing and spitting, had the power to churn the seas. Now, with the sea-suppressing double dragon staff thrust heavily, heaven and earth were turned upside down. The ground was lifted, bordered by billowing waves, a grand scene indeed. This great formation was initially intended to deal with Su Jie, but under the current circumstances, Zhao Bilong couldn't afford to risk it for protection. Humph! Rabble of Guanchao Pavilion. Prepare for annihilation. Zhang Qinfeng, wielding the 7 Luminary Star Lord ring, advanced at the forefront. The aftermath of their clash, with both holding low-grade magical treasures and possessing the Taoist platform realm 5th layer cultivation, was enough to make many Taoist platform realms pull back hastily, vacating the battlefield for these giants. Su Jie, his eyes unblinking, watched with intense envy as he fixated on the treasures, mumbling, "Such treasures are exactly what catches my eye." However, aware of the task at hand, after Zhao Bilong and Zhang Qinfeng charged at each other, Su Jie shifted his focus to the others and set his target on Situ Hao. "Devil, today we decide life and death." Upon hearing Su Jie mention Morongyu, Zhang Qinfeng instantly erupted in rage. Su Jie glanced at Situ Hao and turned to ride the 1,000-hand centipede towards that direction. Su Jie faced off against Situ Hao from the 10,000 Sword Alliance, the strong cultivator of the Taoist platform realm 5th layer. Zhao Bilong and Zhang Qinfeng each wielded a low-grade spirit treasure, clashing fiercely without a clear winner. The Righteous Sect still had 3 strong cultivators from Qingzhou's Righteous Sect of the Taoist platform realm, as well as 2 supreme elders from the 10,000 Sword Alliance, totaling 5 people in number. On the Demon Path side, there was Zhang Junwei from Ghost Ridge Palace, Lu Jingshi from the Heavenly Soul Sect, and 4 elders who came to help from Fire Cloud Palace, totaling 6 in number. Both sides had cultivation levels from the Taoist platform realm, ranging from the 1st level to the 4th level. But since they had 1 more in number, the Demon Path had a certain advantage from the start, pressing down on the Righteous Sect in the battle. As for Su Jie, he faced Situ Hao alone, bearing the greatest pressure on the Demon Path side. Situ Hao wielded the 9 sword seals, a top-grade magic treasure, which transformed into 9 divine swords piercing the heavens. The sword bodies glowed with brilliant divine light, and the sword chi sliced the sky dome's cloud layer into pieces. This wasn't the first time Situ Hao fought with Su Jie. Knowing Su Jie was tough to deal with, he showcased his strongest abilities as soon as the duel began. Su Jie controlled his divine firm sword to fly out as well. Both being top-grade magic treasures, yet Su Jie's sword control wasn't as skilled as Situ Hao's, thus quickly falling into a disadvantage. TCH, Situ Hao, doesn't your 10,000 Sword Alliance have spiritual treasures? Still playing with magic treasures, and you claim to be the second major sect in Qing province. How terribly stingy. Even though he was at a disadvantage in the magic treasure contest, Su Jie's expression was one of mockery. It's enough to deal with you. Situ Hao's face darkened. Spiritual treasures aren't just cabbages. They require Purple Mansion cultivators to refine and those skilled in artifact refining. The materials are expensive, the refining demands are high, the process is long, and they are intrinsically scarce. Guanchao Pavilion and Fire Cloud Palace possess spiritual treasures because their sects once had great powers of the Purple Mansion realm, leaving behind such foundations, serving as sect treasures. Unfortunately, the 10,000 Sword Alliance, although ranked second among the major sects in Qing province, historically never had a Purple Mansion cultivator. It only acquired a low-grade spirit treasure flying sword through fortune, which is held by the sect master of the 10,000 Sword Alliance as a sect treasure, and naturally wouldn't be in Situ Hao's hands. Angered inside, Situ Hao controlled the 9 sword seals, using exquisite sword formulas to suppress and repeatedly strike down the divine firm sword, then charged directly at Su Jie. Facing the incoming 9 divine swords, Su Jie remained expressionless, turning into a vast blood sea. The enormous blood sea surged as if it could cover the sky, with waves roaring like thousands of troops, crushing towards Situ Hao. 10,000 tribulations, heavenly sword, Situ Hao shouted, and the 9 divine swords burst with golden light, which resembled golden flying swords, piercing into the blood sea, parting it to form a path with Situ Hao in the middle. Human sword integration. With a magic gesture, the 9 divine swords merged, Situ Hao's body turning into a streak of light, integrating with the 9 sword seals. Instantly, sword chi roared like a dragon, and under the flicker of silver light, it carried immense might, as the air seemed to split in two. Furious sword chi swept through heaven and earth like a hurricane, tearing countless slender cracks in the clouds, leaving deep scars on the ground. Su Jie's blood sea surged endlessly, transforming into a boundless blood-colored tsunami, making everywhere it passed a dead land. Situ Hao showed not a bit of fear, being 3 levels higher than Su Jie in cultivation, armed with a top-grade magic treasure, and being a sword cultivator known for offensive prowess with exceptional combat strength. Under his sword control, dull boomings echoed, as if the earth was ravaged by a giant beast. Stones and trees turned to dust. This sword chi was exceedingly domineering, relentlessly colliding with Su Jie's blood sea head-on, segmenting the blood sea, evaporating large portions of it. The whole scene looked like a peerless swordsman painting with wild brushstrokes on a blood-colored canvas. Rip, rip. From within the blood sea, countless thick tentacles emerged, densely chasing after Situ Hao, snaking and howling from all directions, seemingly obscuring even the sky dome. Moreover, countless blood demons were forged, roaring to the heavens, pursuing Situ Hao to strike him down, presenting a wildly spectacular sight. Situ Hao, dual-wielding his sword, fully activated the 9 sword seals, severing tentacle after tentacle of the blood sea. Each severed tentacle crashed to the ground, corroding it into a bottomless pit. The blood demons, too, were sliced in two, as nothing seemed able to withstand the edge of his sword. Heavenly thunder! Suddenly, another voice called out. As rolling purple cloud, heavenly thunder was summoned from within the blood sea, striking incessantly at the 9 sword seals, making this top-grade magic treasure tremble continuously. Joined with the 9 sword seals, Situ Hao grunted, being disrupted from his precise human sword integration state, reappearing in human form. A mere blood sea, how could it harm me? Situ Hao grew more spirited, standing sword in hand at the center of the blood sea, his eyes sharp as twin blades. All around was an endless roaring blood sea, making his figure stand out starkly under the blood sea and lightning interwoven sky, appearing particularly aloof. Except for the slight trembling of the 9 sword seals in his hand, there was no sign of fatigue. His eyes held no trace of fear, with unseen sword chi surging around him. It seemed as if the only sounds left were his breathing and the whistling of sword chi, everything else losing color in front of this peerless sword intent. I admit you have some skill, but you can fight. Others may not be as capable as you. From within the blood sea, Su Jie's cold laughter echoed, and the blood sea stirred, forming a large, indistinct face that sneered at Situ Hao. This Situ Hao indeed had much greater strength than Zhang Xinping, whom Su Jie had confronted, and as the second most powerful figure in the 10,000 Sword Alliance, his prowess was unquestionable. However, Su Jie did not necessarily need to win against him personally. There were many ways to achieve victory. Situ Hao felt an ominous premonition. He had been fully engaged in the battle with Su Jie, but suddenly he noticed something. The presence of Su Jie's mount and that female ghost was missing. He spread his divine sense, opening the heavenly eye, and that uneasy feeling was immediately confirmed. Due to the high intensity and speed at which Taoist platform realm cultivators fought, the battlefield's range expanded to hundreds of kilometers with dozens of such cultivators engaged. Su Jie's vanished thousand-hand centipede and Han Ruyan had already reached another part of the battlefield, targeting the righteous sex cultivators. Although the demon path possessed a 6 versus 5 numerical advantage, Taoist platform realm cultivators had strong survival abilities. Winning was easy, killing was hard, so despite the demon path's advantage, it was not enough to convert into a complete victory. However, with the thousand-hand centipede and Han Ruyan joining, it was different. You despicable scoundrel, have the guts to face me. Situ Hao immediately discerned Su Jie's insidious intent, his face turning pale. Su Jie intended to eliminate the easy targets first, killing all other righteous cultivators before leaving him alone to fight Su Jie. Saying this, Situ Hao resumed sword control, but this time, he no longer wanted to vie with the Blood Sea, but aimed to support other righteous cultivators. Yet, how could Su Jie let him have his way? Don't rush off. We haven't determined the victor yet. Netherworld Bone Mountain Formation. As Su Jie's massive face in the Blood Sea revealed a sinister grin, the 10,000 soul banner was put to use by Su Jie, and the Huangquan River spanned the Blood Sea. 9 immense bone mountains fell in succession. Millions of Yin souls roared and swarmed out, blocking Situ Hao's path. The Blood Sea transformed into an endless curtain, darkening the sky. Countless tentacles and blood demons attacked, trapping Situ Hao completely. Su Jie's Blood Sea collaborated seamlessly with the Netherworld Bone Mountain Formation, making it impossible for Situ Hao to escape. Get lost. If you have the guts, duel me one-on-one. Situ Hao's face flushed, shouting furiously. Each outbreak of sword chi could cut through a section of Blood Sea, but the Blood Sea would instantly heal. Though Situ Hao's sword chi was strong and his flying sword indeed sharp, witnessing the vast, spreading Blood Sea and the millions of Yin souls, a sense of helplessness arose in his heart. Against the Blood Sea, he and his flying sword seemed exceptionally small. No matter how sharp his 9 sword seals were, faced with such circumstances, he felt deeply trapped, unable to break free from Su Jie, unless he could endure over a long period, at least 1 or 2 hours, slowly killing the Yin souls and depleting the Blood Sea. Yet ironically, what he lacked most at this moment was time. Let alone 1 or 2 hours, he couldn't afford to delay even a minute now. Hee fool. Fighting requires brains. Regarding this, Su Jie merely smirked, watching Situ Hao trapped within the Blood Sea, unrestrained in his mockery. Meanwhile, as Su Jie trapped Situ Hao, Taoist platform realm experts were already beginning to fall over here. Qi Huimu from Qingzhou Tianqing Pavilion was a Taoist platform realm expert, at this moment engaged in battle with a Supreme Elder from Fire Cloud Palace. The duel between 2 Taoist platform realm experts was particularly intense. As they fought, the battlefield had already moved 100 kilometers away from Su Jie. Their combat was evenly matched, though Fire Cloud Palace's Elder had slightly superior individual prowess. It wasn't enough to win the fight. Yet, amid their intense fight, a peculiar force suddenly infiltrated. Who is it? Not good. Qi Huemu's face changed dramatically, sensing danger. His body was encroached by a bizarre force, but as he was engaged in combat, his reaction was ultimately a beat slow. Behind him, Han Ruyan's figure suddenly appeared, reaching out with her right hand, grabbing in the air. Poof! Qi Huemu only felt a chill in his heart. Looking down, he saw a bloody hole in his left chest, with the heart vanished. Han Ruyan grasped the heart with her delicate hand, eyes cold and indifferent, as if looking at a dead man. Because of the physical contact, the curse had entirely infected his body. Countless twisted, eerie black spots appeared on Qi Huemu's skin. Every moment, these spots emitted a mortifying aura, while inside him, the flesh, blood, and marrow underwent degenerative changes, rapidly rotting and stinking. "It's you, female ghost." Qi Huemu's eyes were filled with horror. Han Ruyan's curse power was beyond imagination, and his physical body couldn't withstand it. "Ha-ha! Thank you." The Fire Cloud Palace Elder's eyes brightened, immediately delivering consecutive punches, sending him plummeting to the ground, bones shattered aplenty. In just a moment, under the combined attack of a person and a ghost, Qi Huemu was pushed to the brink of death. Han Ruyan took out a brass mirror from her hand, reflecting it on Qi Huemu. Qi Huemu's spiritual power had been mostly eroded by the curse, his physical body battered, unable to resist. His body contorted, rapidly decomposing at the chest, where a gravestone swiftly emerged, sprouting countless black hairs from its base, embedding into Qi Huemu's flesh, consuming his nutrients, making the gravestone grow taller, pinning him to the ground. In just half a minute, Qi Huemu's life force completely dissipated. His entire body transformed into a pile of decayed white bones, and upon the already towering gravestone, originally smooth and shiny, a line of text appeared slowly. "Gravestone of Qi Huemu." Han Ruyan descended, first using a spare soul summoning banner to absorb Qi Huemu's primordial spirit, then took Qi Huemu's storage bag. Her delicate hand flipped again. The gravestone that absorbed Qi Huemu's nutrients fell into Han Ruyan's hand, rapidly shrinking until it took the form of a pendant, with the interior disclosing a crimson hue, like a piece of red jade. Because Qi Huemu's blood was sealed within, which could later be handed over to her husband for cultivating the blood sea devouring sky demon skill. As Su Jie's wife, she was well skilled in frugality, hoarding the primordial spirit, blood, and storage bag. On the other side, the Fire Cloud Palace Elder witnessed this scene, initially intending to negotiate with Han Ruyan for a share of Qi Huemu's storage bag's resources. He opened his mouth but ultimately remained silent. After all, Han Ruyan, the female ghost, seemed particularly difficult to communicate with, employing soul stripping and blood extraction. He pondered over himself, feeling that if he spoke up, he might be eliminated by this terrifying female ghost, robbed of his wealth, bled and stripped of soul, then presented as if he and Qi Huemu perished together, having nowhere to cry by then. A fierce ghost mingling with demon cultivators certainly couldn't be expected to possess high character. "Continue." Han Ruyan organized her belongings, her indifferent gaze sweeping over the Fire Cloud Palace Elder. The Fire Cloud Palace Elder nodded, promptly joining another battle. In truth, it's not only here that Han Ruyan intervened. The Thousand-Hand Centipede also collaborated with Fire Cloud Palace to eliminate a Supreme Elder from the 10,000 Sword Alliance. The liberated personnel immediately joined other battlefields, forming situations where numbers overwhelmed the opposing side. Originally 6-on-5, now evolved to 6-on-3, 2 demon path cultivators ganging up on 1 righteous sect cultivator, further escalating into snowballing, not mentioning more assistance from the Thousand-Hand Centipede and Han Ruyan. The release of more personnel signified the righteous sect's battle was swiftly collapsing. A few righteous Taoist platform realm experts fell visibly rapidly. They wanted to escape, but in their besieged state, with Han Ruyan's eerie curse and the Thousand-Hand Centipede's extensive attacks, escaping was nothing short of daydreaming. Ultimately, these 5 Taoist platform realm experts perished one by one within half an hour, and with freed personnel such as Zhang Junwei, Lu Jingshi plus 4 Fire Cloud Palace Elders, they all converged on Su Jie's side. When Su Jie opened the Blood Sea, 6 Taoist platform realm experts entered, seeing Situ Hao inside in a state of despair. Originally planning to gang up on Su Jie, Situ Hao hadn't anticipated becoming the one encircled and beaten. Momentarily, gazing at the 7 Taoist platform realm cultivators, his expression turned lifeless and despairing. Now the situation is, 7 Taoist platform realm experts including Su Jie form a circular formation, with the lonely great elder of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, Situ Hao, in the center. Situ Hao's combat power is undoubtedly strong, but what he faces are 7 vicious demon cultivators. Even though he has the highest cultivation at Taoist platform realm 5th layer, it's impossible to fight 7 alone. Dare to single out. Situ Hao stared fiercely at Su Jie, knowing he couldn't beat 7 people, and hoping to escape was futile. All he could do was desperately try to drag down Su Jie, his enemy. All right. Su Jie smiled brightly and then waved his hand. Everyone, go together. Elder Situ Hao wants a duel, so let's fulfill his wish, a duel with the group against him alone. Situ Hao's face turned livid, wishing he could tear Su Jie to shreds. Among the 4 elders of the Fire Cloud Palace, Di Pingqiu, with his fiery red eyebrows carrying a cruel smile, was the first to approach Situ Hao. Situ Hao, when your 10,000 Sword Alliance took over our Fire Cloud Palace's property back then, didn't think you'd have this day, did you? When we wipe you out, your 10,000 Sword Alliance will also be on its last legs.
Di Pingqiu wielded a flame-long spear.
As he spoke, the spear pierced through the void, transforming into a galloping flame dragon, biting towards Situ Hao. The other 3 elders of the Fire Cloud Palace followed suit. With their deep-seated feud with the 10,000 Sword Alliance, in this situation, naturally, they wouldn't miss the chance to kick someone when they're down. Zhang Junwei and Lu Jingshi joined the battle shortly after. In an instant, Situ Hao was engulfed in a tide of magic and magical treasure strikes. Boom! The 9 sword seals blocked the flame dragon, while behind Situ Hao, a Fire Cloud Palace elder rapidly approached, spouting a flame assault from his palm. Situ Hao quickly turned to deal with it, but more attacks came covering him. After just 2 minutes, with a resounding tear, Situ Hao's shoulder was cut by a long saber, and amidst the burst of brilliance, his shoulder and left arm were severed at the joint. Crash! Lu Jingshi controlled the 8th grade Earth Evil Ghost, clapping its hands towards Situ Hao. Situ Hao spat a mouthful of blood, and his entire body began to show hideous blood handprints one by one. Zhang Junwei's brow split open. A poisonous insect crawled out silently, and a blood mark appeared on Situ Hao's neck, tearing half of it open. Countless tiny mosquitoes swarmed out from the ripped throat. Die for me! Di Pingqiu shouted in excitement, the long spear in his hand piercing Situ Hao's chest, allowing the Xidagarba bone fire to enter his body. This Xidagarba bone fire, glowing green, spread from flesh to bones, finally permeating Situ Hao's bones, burning them to crisp, fragile cinders that shattered at a pinch. Faced with the siege of 6 Taoist platform realm cultivators, Situ Hao couldn't fight back at all and was directly beaten into a near-death state. Su Jie, sneaky as always, did not participate directly in the fight. Seeing the battle about to settle, he seized the opportunity and finally decided to act, shouting, "Shao Qian!" As soon as the voice fell, the 1,000-hand centipede descended from the sky. Its target was not Situ Hao. Rather, it opened its bloody mouth, biting down on the 9 sword seals. The 9 sword seals were indeed top-grade magic treasures. But now, Situ Hao was gravely injured and dying, long unable to control the 9 sword seals to put up any further resistance. Therefore, the 1,000-hand centipede effortlessly opened its mouth and swallowed the top-grade magic treasure, claiming it. While the 1,000-hand centipede snatched the sword, Su Jie clapped his hands, and rolling seas of blood directly covered, transforming into a boundless tsunami, engulfing Situ Hao within. Di Pingqiu initially wanted to pursue and attack further. Seeing the blood sea rushing over, his instinct was to take Situ Hao's storage bag from his waist. Every Taoist platform realm cultivator is a walking treasury, with wealth no less than tens of millions of spirit stones. especially someone like Situ Hao, the second in command of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, who surely has abundant riches, tempting every cultivator. But just as Di Pingqiu extended his hand, he was unexpectedly hit with a peculiar force that made him slow down, unable to reach Situ Hao's storage bag. Turning his head, he saw Han Rian floating in combat, holding a dressing mirror, reflecting the scene and displaying their silhouettes, including Situ Hao's. By the time Di Pingqiu dispersed the coldness enveloping his body, Situ Hao had long been swept into the blood sea. Elder Su, you can't just hog everything yourself. Di Pingqiu grumbled, somewhat dissatisfied. They from Fire Cloud Palace put in effort, but none of the spoils were seized from Su Jie's side. Everyone uses their own ability. Whoever gets it, keeps it. Su Jie shrugged, clenched his palm, and within the blood sea, countless blood-red tentacles drilled out, wrapping around Situ Hao's body, in his desperate gaze, unleashing tremendous force, tearing him into pieces, his primordial spirit just emerging, swallowed cleanly by the 10,000 soul banner in the blood sea. The sky poured down torrential rain, which was Situ Hao's final spiritual power dispersing, affecting the weather, as if even heaven and earth were mourning the fall of this mighty figure. Once Situ Hao died, his storage bag naturally landed in Su Jie's possession. Not sure how Zhao Bilong and Zhang Chunfeng are doing over there. Su Jie withdrew the blood sea and used his divine sense to sense that the two fifth-level Dao platform realm powerhouses, relying on their low-grade spirit treasures, were fighting fiercely. The battle area had long since deviated from this place. The battle fluctuations are over on the Taifeng City side. They're fighting back. Let's go over and support them. Su Jie spoke, then led the group swiftly toward Taifeng City. Meanwhile, near Taifeng City, rumble. In the sky, true dragons formed from seawater were collapsing, and a figure like a meteor fell to the ground. It was Zhao Bilong. Zhao Bilong, today is the day of your death. Zhang Chunfeng stood in the sky, with a gaping hole in his chest that could not heal, revealing writhing innards, and deep bone-revealing wounds all over his face and body, with barely any intact flesh left. But even so, he had won the battle because Zhang Chunfeng was in an even worse state, with his spiritual power almost depleted. Ha! Ha ha! I never thought I would still lose to you. Zhao Bilong let out a tragic laugh. In his youth, he was the most outstanding disciple of Guanchao Pavilion and also an immortal seed. At the same time, Zhang Chunfeng was the most outstanding disciple of Fire Cloud Palace and an immortal seed as well. The two had fought once in their youth, and that time Zhang Chunfeng won. Unexpectedly, in this second confrontation, he still lost and had to stake his life. You put all your energy into studying formations. How could you compete with me? Zhang Chunfeng slowly descended, his eyebrows burning into flames, and the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring above his head continuously released rolling heat waves, turning the earth into scorched ground. I am doing it to nurture the next generation of Guanchao Pavilion. In my lifetime, I have no hope of breaking through to the Purple Mansion realm, but the next generation still has hope. In contrast, your Fire Cloud Palace, in order to deal with our Guanchao Pavilion, collaborated with the Devil Su Jie without hesitation. Even if you win this time, your Fire Cloud Palace's reputation will plummet, and you'll be scorned by the world, with no fresh blood joining your Fire Cloud Palace. Zhao Bilong sat up, his complexion pale but showing a smile. He stared sinisterly at Zhang Chunfeng. And do you really think you've won? A devil like Su Jie will sooner or later become a severe threat to our righteous sect. Once you've helped him deal with our Fire Tide Pavilion without us holding him back, he would grow, perhaps even reaching the Purple Mansion realm, and by then your Fire Cloud Palace would be his next target for destruction. Humph, even dying you try to sow discord. Our Fire Cloud Palace is none of your concern. Just go peacefully. Zhang Chunfeng frowned. He didn't care about Su Jie, as there was deep enmity with Guanchao Pavilion, and today Zhao Bilong must die. Then, allow me to do one last thing. Zhao Bilong looked down at the sea-suppressing double dragon staff in his hand and said, Go now. Take them home. The sea-suppressing double dragon staff trembled slightly and flew out of Zhao Bilong's palm towards Taifeng City. Don't even think about it. Zhang Qinfeng's expression changed, and he turned to rush towards the sea-suppressing double dragon staff. He had been coveting this low-grade spirit treasure for a long time, and if he could seize it, it would be a great profit. This is the treasure of my sect. How can it fall into the hands of your fire cloud palace? However, Zhao Bilong used the last of his strength to throw himself onto Zhang Qinfeng, holding him tightly. Seeking death, Zhang Qinfeng erupted with rolling flames around him, and the 7 luminaries' Star Lord ring shone like a great sun in the sky, unleashing terrifying high temperatures, burning everything. Zhao Bilong's skin and flesh were scorched red, with his blood constantly evaporating, like a cooked shrimp. But Zhao Bilong refused to let go, and his last bit of spiritual power turned into water currents, binding Zhao Bilong's hands and feet, dragging down his pace. Meanwhile, the sea-suppressing double dragon ruler that flew into the city automatically headed towards the extreme treasure auction house. Here, only Mo Shiryao and a few other talented disciples remained. Seeing the solitary sea-suppressing double dragon ruler flying over, Yu Wenjing seemed to understand something, his eyes widening. The blue radiance of the sea-suppressing double dragon ruler fell, transforming into a blue sea dragon, carrying no one on its back, then flew into the distance as though it had intelligence, escaping away. And outside Taifeng City, after a standoff for a while, Zhao Bilong had been burned to a charred corpse, finally being released by Zhang Qinfeng, and with a hand blade severing his neck. After that, Zhang Qinfeng took away Zhao Bilong's storage bag, hurriedly running towards the former location of the extreme treasure auction house in Taifeng City. The ruins, destroyed by the thousand-hand centipede, were already empty, with no cultivators in sight and no trace of Mo Shiryao, Yu Wenjing, Jiang Lin, He Wenfeng or Wei Qingyuan. Damn it! My low-grade spirit treasure. Zhang Qinfeng was so angry he could only slap his thigh, full of regret. The value of a low-grade spirit treasure was astonishing, and its effect was immense. It could greatly enhance the combat power of a Dao platform realm cultivator, as just now when he wielded the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring against Zhao Bilong, other Dao platform cultivators could barely approach. This was the strength of a low-grade spirit treasure. When Su Jie and his companions arrived here, they witnessed the landscape around Taifeng City outskirts completely changed. Amid the ruins, Zhao Bilong lay in a large pit. His head had separated from his neck, his lifeless eyes wide open, rolled to one side, devoid of any life force. Standing on the other side was Zhang Qinfeng from the Fire Cloud Palace, with the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring above his head, strands of holy flame red light flowing like wisps and petals. Despite being covered in injuries, he still exuded a powerful aura. You've come. Zhang Qinfeng looked at Su Jie and others with a slight, weary smile. He was almost at his limits, barely holding on to speak with them. Elder Zhang is truly formidable, battling Zhao Bilong. Elder Zhang's reputation will soar. Su Jie first saluted, scanning the surroundings, not seeing the low-grade spirit treasure, sea-suppressing double dragon staff. He wondered if Zhang Qinfeng had hidden it away. Su Jie narrowed his eyes slightly. Now considering Zhang Qinfeng's condition along with the 4 elders from Fire Cloud Palace, he pondered if him and his group, including Lu Jingshi and Zhang Junwei, could. Di Pingqiu felt an inexplicable chill, instinctively turning his head to look around. Zhang Qinfeng seemed to discern Su Jie's intention and sighed bitterly. A spirit treasure is a spirit treasure because the artifact possesses a spirit. Zhao Bilong, before dying, used his last breath to toss the sea-suppressing double dragon staff away. That spirit treasure, carrying away Yu Wenjing and 5 talented disciples, has already escaped. By the time I dealt with him, I couldn't find the sea-suppressing double dragon staff. I see, spirit treasures truly are mysterious. It's a pity about those auction items. Su Jie swept his divine sense over Taifeng City, finding indeed the absence of Mo Shiryao, Yu Wenjing, and the other 5's presence, feeling somewhat regretful. If they were still around, another auction could have been organized. Di Pingqiu returned to Zhang Qinfeng's side, whispered softly, reporting what had happened on his end. Really wiped them all out. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Great victory. Great victory. All 8 of the Right Path cultivators fell without exception, severely weakening the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion's strength. Now the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion, will suffer greatly. Zhang Chunfeng's smile suddenly widened, fatigue instantly replaced with vigor, heart pounding with joy. Initially observing Su Jie's group intact, he thought the battle wasn't fierce, but hearing the news that Guanchao Pavilion and 10,000 Sword Alliance's strength was utterly eliminated pleased him greatly. The results meant everything for Fire Cloud Palace. Guanchao Pavilion and 10,000 Sword Alliance had always been targets for Fire Cloud Palace to destroy. Now Guanchao Pavilion lost Zhao Bilong and 4 Qing Province Taoist Platform Realm experts were killed. Those 4 Taoist Platform Realm experts, though not from Guanchao Pavilion, were allies, otherwise they wouldn't travel so far with Guanchao Pavilion to this place, acting as its vassal forces. With this battle that annihilated them, Guanchao Pavilion would definitely be hit hard. Concerning the Fire Cloud Palace, the loss was equally significant, with 10,000 Sword Alliance losing 3 elders including Situ Hao, the second most powerful Taoist Platform Realm 5th layer cultivator from 10,000 Sword Alliance. Counting the previously fallen Morong Yu, 10,000 Sword Alliance, including the sect master himself now, had only 1 Taoist Platform Realm expert left. This was no mere injury, not even cutting by half but severing from the neck, almost collapsing the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Indeed, this time we achieved a major victory. Guanchao Pavilion and 10,000 Sword Alliance paid the price for attempting to kill our sect's Saint Heir. Zhang Junwei felt invigorated. Weakening Guanchao Pavilion, the leader of the Qingzhou Righteous Path, ensured Ghost Ridge Palace's status and safety would be secured. Master Su, you didn't deceive me. Now let's see how Guanchao Pavilion contends against our Heavenly Soul sect. Lu Jingshi was equally thrilled. With this battle's conclusion, the Heavenly Soul sect's predicament should resolve on its own. While the heavily damaged Guanchao Pavilion couldn't possibly maintain their siege, much less handle Fire Cloud Palace's assault, leaving them powerless against Heavenly Soul sect. Ha ha ha, the fall of 8 Taoist Platform Realm cultivators. Surely Guanchao Pavilion and 10,000 Sword Alliance will love this surprise we sent them. Su Jie laughed heartily twice, saluted Zhang Chunfeng. Elder Zhang. A fruitful collaboration. The plan is successfully completed. Ha ha ha. Indeed, a pleasant collaboration. Zhang Chunfeng and Su Jie exchanged glances, both bursting into laughter. Battle erupts between righteous and evil sides in Chongzhou. 8 Taoist Platform experts of the Righteous Path fall. Heavy losses sustained. Fire Cloud Palace, in pursuit of defeating rivals, unscrupulously colluded with the Great Demon, Su Jie, resulting in this heinous massacre. Guanchao Pavilion and 10,000 Sword Alliance face power vacuum. Qingzhou and Qing Province to undergo drastic changes. The next day, heavy news about the auction at Taifeng City in Chongzhou spread like a hurricane, continually beyond the borders. Chongzhou in turmoil, Qingzhou in turmoil, Qing Province in turmoil. The entire 16 states of the Delhi dynasty were astounded by the news. This battle erupted in Chongzhou, watched by too many. Those fleeing cultivators from Chongzhou certainly did not keep secrets, coupled with Su Jie's blatant declaration of his feats, resulting in obvious effects. The originally highly anticipated talent auction suddenly turned into a battle between the righteous and the demonic, with Fire Cloud Palace colluding with the Demon Path, leading to heavy losses for the Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance. This news carried so much information. It was truly eye-popping. 8 Taoist Platform Realm cultivators died in a single battle, which is an unimaginable concept. In the Delhi dynasty, a medium-sized sect would typically have a single Taoist Platform Realm powerhouse, often the sect master. As powerful as Guanchao Pavilion, the entire sect had only 7 Taoist Platform Realm powerhouses, including the recently fallen Zhao Bilong, for people have died one after another in the past few years, leaving the entire sect with only 3 Taoist Platform Realm cultivators. It can be said that the fall of a Taoist Platform Realm powerhouse can cause a sensation and a great upheaval in a continent. Now, with 8 Taoist Platform Realm powerhouses dying at once, Such a war has not occurred in the Delhi dynasty for many years. The details of this battle are being continuously revealed, and Su Jie's name is mentioned repeatedly, because everything started because of him, and with his resounding achievements, Su Jie undoubtedly became the most dazzling new star in the entire Delhi dynasty. 10,000 Sword Alliance. Upon hearing the news from Chong Zhou, Li Yuze was in a daze, completely unable to believe what he had heard. What did you say? All dead? Sidong Hao, Liang Weiqi, and Yen Tianlei, the three elders have all fallen. Li Yuze's eyes shot out a sharp glare, his expression ferocious, as if he wanted to devour someone alive. Report to the sect master. Every word I say is true, without a single falsehood. The disciple who came to report knelt on the ground trembling. But before he could finish, an invisible sword chi raged and spread. His body was instantly disintegrated, sliced into pieces, and then shredded by the sword chi. Li Yuze's eyes were blood-red. An aura of terrifying killing intent erupted from him, gathering clouds over the sky, with lightning and thunder. The terrifying sword intent surged into the sky, alarming the entire mountain gate of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, making many disciples feel their skin prickling, as if stabbed by a myriad of sharp blades.
Сує фірет лоуд палаце. Li Yuze shouted Su Jie's name.
If Su Jie stood before him now, he would wish to devour Su Jie's flesh and blood. 3 Taoist platform realm elders, plus Morong Yu who was killed by Su Jie, made it 4 elders from the 10,000 Sword Alliance who died at Su Jie's hands. Now the 10,000 Sword Alliance was left with only him, a solitary figure, the only remaining Taoist platform realm heir. The fury inside him soared to the heavens. Yet no matter how angry Li Yuze was, it was futile. Instead, his heart was engulfed by regret. He sent the 3 supreme elders, Sidong Hao and the others, but did not anticipate that it was a trap set by Su Jie, who had long premeditated to ally with the Fire Cloud Palace, leading to this bloodshed. Had he known the results, he wouldn't have sent Zhang Xinming to Qingzhou for training, which would have prevented subsequent events, but it was now too late to say anything. Guanchao Pavilion. In the open space of the central hall, Yu Wenjing knelt on the ground, holding the sea-suppressing double dragon staff in both hands, with Mo Shiyao, Jiang Lin, He Wenfeng, and Wei Qingwan, for genius disciples, behind him. Surrounded were elders of Guanchao Pavilion, ranging from Taoist platform realm to secret realm, each with expressions of sorrow or intense anger. In front of them, Elder Dongyu of Guanchao Pavilion was dressed in mourning white, strands of white mixed in his hair. He seemed to have aged by more than a decade overnight. Great Elder, Su Jie is not human. He used us as bait, colluding with Fire Cloud Palace to lure Elder Zhao Bilong and others into a trap. Elder Zhao Bilong sacrificed himself to save us, said Yu Wenjing, tears streaming down his face. Although he returned to the Guanchao Pavilion he longed for, this was not the outcome he wanted to see. To save these 5 genius disciples, the righteous side lost 8 Taoist platform realm cultivators. In terms of cost-effectiveness, the loss was immeasurable.
Elder Yong, I'm sorry.
Amitabha Buddha, please accept my condolences, Master Dong. Elder Dong, our Jingyu Temple will always remember the kindness of Guanchao Pavilion. Su Jie, this demon, is despicable and shameless. We, the 10,000 Sword Alliance, will never let him go. Mo Shiyao, He Wenfeng, Jiang Lin, and Wei Qingwan also spoke up. Their return owed entirely to Zhao Bilong's ultimate sacrifice, so their gratitude was entirely genuine. Dongyu said nothing, his gaze was empty, unfocused, and who knows what he was thinking. After a long while, he sighed deeply. The greatest fault lies with me, for I did not foresee Su Jie's plan. He lowered his head, looking desolate and lonely, then issued an order. Convey my command. As of today, seal the mountain. Upon hearing these words, everyone opened their mouths wide. But seeing the look in Dong Yu's eyes, all words of opposition choked in their throats, leaving them no choice but to rise and convey the command to seal the mountain gate of Guanchao Pavilion. Qing Province, Fire Cloud Palace. Sect Master Chu Yengang personally waited at the mountain gate. Surrounding him were the elders and managers of the Fire Cloud Palace, as well as a throng of disciples. When 6 figures appeared atop the sky dome cloud layer, the scene immediately became agitated. "They've arrived! They've arrived!" Upon seeing the 6 figures, the disciples on the scene widened their eyes, uttering low exclamations. 5 elders from the Fire Cloud Palace, led by Zhang Chunfeng, descended one after another. Su Jie landed leisurely at the last, while Zhang Junwei and Lu Jingshi had already returned aboard the flying magical boat to the Ghost Ridge Palace and the Heavenly Soul Sect to hold the fort, preventing Guanchao Pavilion from attacking in shame and anger. "Sect Master, we did not disgrace our mission." The injuries on Zhang Chunfeng's body had not yet healed. His face was very pale, but the joy between his brows could not be concealed. "Good, good, you all did well." Chu Yengang laughed heartily, looking at Su Jie, gave him a heavy embrace. "Elder Su, cooperating with you was indeed my best decision. It benefits both parties. Sect Master Chu, you are too polite." Su Jie smiled slightly, his expression calm, as if he had anticipated this outcome all along. Qin Menjing's beautiful eyes looked at Su Jie with an incomparably peculiar gaze. She never expected that this great demon, who had kidnapped her, would eventually be the best collaborator to resolve the sect's enemy. The disciples and elders of the Fire Cloud Palace nearby also focused their gaze on Su Jie. The cooperation between Fire Cloud Palace and Su Jie had already spread like wildfire. Regarding collaboration with the Demon Path, disciples within the sect had various opinions, and naturally many opposed it, but their opposition was insignificant. The sect's upper echelon, who truly held power, did not care about right or wrong, only the size of the benefits. Being able to weaken the 10,000 Sword Alliance, an enemy eyeing their throne, was more beneficial than harmful to the Fire Cloud Palace. Thus, their cooperation with Su Jie was naturally not a problem. During the casual conversation, Su Jie suddenly shifted the topic. "Speaking of which, Sect Master Chu, what do you think about Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance simultaneously closing their mountain gates? Both sects have suffered great losses in strength recently. They just want to turtle up." Chu Yengang said straightforwardly, and then made no further comment. "Sect Master Chu, don't you want to settle the matter once and for all? Directly wipe out Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance?" Su Jie raised his eyebrow, enticing. "This opportunity is extremely rare. If you leave them a chance to recover, they will surely become a scourge for you in the future." Chu Yengang shook his head, saying, "I also have this idea, but it is quite difficult to implement. Both sects have mountain protection arrays, coupled with their sect's foundation. Wanting to resolve them requires careful long-term planning and a well-thought-out attack strategy." Su Jie seemed contemplative, nodded slightly, and said, "That's reasonable. In that case, Sect Master Chu, I shall take my leave." "Elder Su, please wait. You've done us such a great favor. We haven't properly entertained you yet. I appreciate the sentiment, but I have urgent matters to attend to. Let's meet next time." Su Jie cupped his hands, turned around, and returned to the flying magical boat, disappearing into the cloud layer. After Su Jie left, Zhang Chunfeng approached Chu Yengang, whispering, "Sect Master, this demon's strength is too strong. My injuries are too severe. I have no confidence." "Sect Master, was it the true body that came this time?" "After our battle in Chongzhou, because both Zhang Junwei and Lu Jingshi were present, along with that centipede and female ghost, we found no opportunity." Di Pingqiu also spoke up, looking rather regretful. "It was just a clone that came. This guy is very cautious," Chu Yengang said blandly. "He appeared boorish, but if anyone linked him to being a brute, they would be gravely mistaken. A brute could not become the sect master of the Fire Cloud Palace." Being able to disregard impact and cooperate with Su Jie, his courage and planning revealed Chu Yengang as someone with a ruthless and crafty nature. Before setting out for this cooperation, Chu Yengang had prepared 2 plans. One was to join hands with Su Jie to destroy the powerhouses of the 10,000 Sword Alliance and the Fire Cloud Palace. The other plan was to take advantage of the situation to eliminate Su Jie as well. In doing so, he could cleanse rumors of collaborating with the demon path, while also getting rid of Su Jie, avoiding future influence. After all, their goal to severely damage Guanchao Pavilion and the 10,000 Sword Alliance had been achieved, and Su Jie was no longer useful. Removing Su Jie's head could clear the sex stigma and prove collaboration with the demon path was merely rumor, maximizing benefits for the Fire Cloud Palace. Unfortunately, the forces sent by the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion exceeded expectations, resulting in Zhang Qinfeng being seriously injured. Furthermore, Su Jie's side had Zhang Junwei and Lu Jingshi. Even though the Fire Cloud Palace had 4 elders, if they truly fought, it would result in mutual destruction. So Zhang Qinfeng and the others ultimately chose not to act. Never mind, we can destroy the 10,000 Sword Alliance later. Guanchao Pavilion is already powerless to retaliate. Qingzhou and Qing Province will be ours eventually. We can address this demon issue then. Chu Yengang seemed indifferent, for the current Fire Cloud Palace was the strongest in Qingzhou and Qing Province, with a huge advantage. The purpose of borrowing Su Jie's formidable power was completely achieved. You go to the Wilderness Tower for recovery first. Leave the rest to me. Patting Zhang Qinfeng on the shoulder, Chu Yengang waved his hand, saying, "Pass my order. The Immortal Palace mobilizes. As of today, destroy the 10,000 Sword Alliance." "Yes." A crowd of elders responded in unison, looking well prepared. An hour later, the fully prepared army of the Fire Cloud Palace mobilized. Over Giant Peak Mountain, the suspended red shining Immortal Palace erupted with thousands of flashes of light. At each of the 4 corners, the phoenix statues extended, and in the center, the great Sun Cloud Palace had a 3-legged golden crow, golden and lifelike, soaring into the sky. Like a sun hanging high, its majestic spiritual power surged like an ocean, dyeing the heavens and earth a golden red. The next moment, the massive red shining Immortal Palace slowly began to move, like a flying mountain. The scene was immensely spectacular. Many outer disciples were unaware that their own red shining Immortal Palace could move and fly. At this moment, each one of them gaped and stared dumbfoundedly, their entire expression frozen. This red shining Immortal Palace, which consumed the great wealth of the Fire Cloud Palace and took centuries to build, causing Fire Cloud Palace to go bankrupt 8 times, had incredibly rich functions. But the most important feature was to act as a war fortress, a presence even more powerful than a flying magical boat. Even though Fire Cloud Palace did not have a flying magical boat, the presence of the red shining Immortal Palace was enough to bridge the gap with Guanchao Pavilion in terms of flying magical boats, and even surge ahead. Under the leadership of Chu Yengang, each elder flew into the red shining Immortal Palace. They would ride this palace to attack the mountain gate of the 10,000 Sword Alliance. The enormous red shining Immortal Palace flew higher and higher, faster and faster, gradually disappearing from people's view. Zhang Qinfeng chose not to depart with the red shining Immortal Palace. His body was riddled with wounds after a fight with Zhao Bilong that left both sides grievously injured, and he no longer had any combat power. Therefore, he arrived at the base of a 1,000-meter-tall active volcano hundreds of miles away. This location was also the spiritual material production area for the Fire Cloud Palace, and the volcano was called Tan Ping Mountain. It produced a kind of fire marrow or... However, Zhang Qinfeng did not come here to mine. He had no such leisure. "Open the tower. I need to go into seclusion for recovery." Zhang Qinfeng entered the interior of the active volcano, where bubbling, scorching lava was roiling. "Yes, Elder, please." The disciples who heard the command quickly took out a token. The volcanic lava began to churn violently and slowly parted, revealing a structure underneath. That structure turned out to be a pagoda, over 30 meters tall, called the Wilderness Tower. It was one of the wonders built by the first sect master of Fire Cloud Palace, suited for strong individuals at the Taoist platform realm to better absorb the fire energy from the earth veins of the volcano. It's said to also incorporate the Phoenix's rebirth from flames ability, which for those cultivating fire attribute cultivation techniques, could accelerate recovery from injuries and improve body well-being. Zhang Qinfeng rose and stepped into the volcano. The entrance at the base of the Wilderness Tower opened, and Zhang Chunfeng entered it alone. Soon, the entire wilderness tower submerged back into the volcanic lava, vanishing without a trace. The interior of the wilderness tower was empty, save for strands of fire burning seemingly from nowhere, which were the essence of fire condensed from absorbing the volcano's essence. Zhang Chunfeng sat cross-legged in midair, slowly absorbing the essence of fire inside the wilderness tower to heal the internal injuries of his body. What Zhang Chunfeng did not know was that outside the wilderness tower, a massacre was underway. Countless strands of black hair, sharp as blades, rampaged within the volcano, and the hundreds of disciples stationed there were immediately cut to pieces, leaving a ground littered with corpses. Silent and unnoticed, an exceptionally beautiful woman appeared in the center, dressed in an ornate blood-colored wedding dress, her skin as white as jade, precisely Han Ruyan, this 8th-grade evil spirit. Moments later, footsteps echoed as Su Jie, holding a 1,000-hand centipede in his arms, stepped into the area, treading over the dense pool of blood on the ground. Xiao Qian, open the door. Su Jie fixed his gaze on the rolling lava beneath the volcano, patting the head of the 1,000-hand centipede. Zizi! The 1,000-hand centipede excitedly shrieked twice, rushed into the lava, opened its gigantic mouth, and revealed enormous pincers, biting into the wilderness tower. Rumble! The wilderness tower shook violently, cracks appeared throughout its structure. This was a construction meant for cultivation and recovery, not built for war, so its defenses were naturally limited. Zhang Chunfeng, inside the wilderness tower, was jolted awake. He hadn't yet understood what was happening when he saw the wilderness tower split in two from top to bottom. The fiery lava outside surged, and a familiar figure appeared before him. Su Jie, didn't you leave? What do you intend to do by coming here? In an instant, Zhang Chunfeng's face changed drastically, his eyes full of surprise. Su Jie's posture clearly showed no good intentions by coming here. Long time no see, or rather, it hasn't been that long. Su Jie had a smile on his face as he looked up and down at Zhang Chunfeng, saying, I heard that Elder Zhang is recuperating here, so I specifically came to see you. It's just that Xiao Qian was a bit too forceful and accidentally broke the door. Please don't take offense. ZZ, the little Qian in his arms called out twice, seemingly protesting Su Jie's false accusation. Zhang Chunfeng's face was gloomy, his mind racing. His divine sense spread out, trying to send a message through divine sense transmission to contact the disciples outside, urging them to quickly go to the sect and call for help, as he sensed a dangerous and malicious aura from Su Jie. Don't waste your efforts, Elder Zhang. They're all asleep and can't attend to you. Su Jie's smile grew brighter, as this kind of divine sense couldn't escape Su Jie's notice. Although Su Jie only had the cultivation of the Taoist platform realm 2nd layer, in terms of primordial spirit strength, he was above Zhang Chunfeng, a strong cultivator at the Taoist platform realm 5th layer. Do you know what you're doing, Su Jie? Offending our fire cloud palace will have consequences you can't bear. Zhang Chunfeng's heart sank as his divine sense had already detected what had happened to the disciples outside. Guanchao Pavilion said the same thing to me, and the result was evident. How much stronger can your fire cloud palace be compared to Guanchao Pavilion? Su Jie's eyes were full of reckless arrogance as he took steps toward Zhang Chunfeng. Su Jie, you're just after the low-grade spirit treasure, the 7 luminary Star Lord ring, in my hand, aren't you? I'll give it to you for the sake of our camaraderie in battle. Spare me a way out. Seeing Su Jie approach, for the first time, panic showed in Zhang Chunfeng's eyes. He gritted his teeth and took a gamble, taking out the 7 luminary Star Lord ring from his storage bag, hoping to fulfill Su Jie's demand. He thought Su Jie came for the low-grade spirit treasure, the 7 luminary Star Lord ring. Foolish, by killing you, the 7 luminary Star Lord ring will still be mine. With your current state, do you still have the right to hold onto such a treasure? Su Jie merely sneered at his words, his eyes filled with mockery. Speaking of which, your Fire Cloud Palace is indeed a good partner, helping me deal with both the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this well now. But I honestly didn't come just for your 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring. Your Fire Cloud Palace plans to dispose of me, using my head to cleanse its reputation. Unfortunately, I share the same intention. Your Fire Cloud Palace's power is getting too big. This is not what I want. When Qingzhou gets swallowed, Ghost Ridge Palace would be threatened by you. What I want is for all of you to be weakened equally. A balanced power is what I require. Su Jie's smile was radiant. With his strength advancing by leaps and bounds, he knew he would eventually inherit the position of Sect Master of Ghost Ridge Palace, which he already regarded as his private domain. But now, with Fire Cloud Palace dominating, it did not align with Su Jie's or Ghost Ridge Palace's interests. Su Jie prefers these righteous sects to be balanced in power, similar to the balance of powers played by Great Britain across the continent, a concept Su Jie grasped well and applied. Upon hearing Su Jie's words, Zhang Qinfeng's pupils contracted. You? How did you know? Is it strange? Many times your actions are easy to predict. A righteous sect that can collaborate with a demon cultivator. I'm not foolish enough to think you're noble, and just now am I. Su Jie stood before Zhang Qinfeng and struck with his hand. Demon. Zhang Qinfeng regretted in his heart. Indeed, cooperating with a demon cultivator was like seeking labor from a tiger. He remembered the words Zhao Bilong said before his death, and couldn't believe they came true so soon. He wanted to wield the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring, but Han Ruyan was faster. Her blood-colored wedding dress transformed into a torrential river of blood clothes, wrapping him like a dumpling. His severely injured body was unable to withstand the assault of Han Ruyan, the 8th-grade evil spirit. Buzz buzz. The 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring autonomously protected its master, releasing a scorching flame shockwave, but lacking spiritual power supply, the power was severely affected. The 1,000-hand centipede blocked in front of the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring, biting onto the spiritual treasure. Overwhelmingly, Su Jie pressed down his handprint, opening the heavenly eye, connecting with the Tao River. The Chaos Dharma form appeared behind him. Together with Su Jie's strike, it entered Zhang Qinfeng's body, leaving him no chance to struggle. Bang! Zhang Qinfeng's head burst like a rotten watermelon, smashed directly by Su Jie, dying on the spot. This powerhouse at the Taoist platform realm 5th layer defeated Zhao Bilong, yet died so easily at Su Jie's hands, because his combat strength had long been exhausted in the clash against Zhao Bilong. Next, I should pay a visit to the 10,000 Sword Alliance, hoping they have more cards to play so they can trouble Fire Cloud Palace. After taking the storage bag from Zhang Qinfeng's waist and sweeping his divine sense through its contents, Su Jie showed a satisfied smile. TSK. This thing is really difficult to deal with. In the Sky Dome Cloud layer, Su Jie sits on the extraordinarily broad back of the 1,000-hand centipede, showing a conflicted expression on his face. In Su Jie's hand is the low-grade spirit treasure, the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring, snatched from Zhang Qinfeng. This sigil is truly difficult to erase. Su Jie mutters under his breath, his palm continuously emitting spiritual power, attempting to remove the internal sigil from the low-grade spirit treasure. Facing Su Jie's coercive actions, the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring seems to have a mind of its own, frantically resisting Su Jie's attempts, its scorching flames repeatedly causing Su Jie's palm to crack open and his bones to weaken. Fortunately, Su Jie possesses the Blood Sea devouring Sky Demon skill, making this damage insignificant to him, though the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring's resistance leaves Su Jie quite helpless. In the past, Su Jie had no problems forcibly removing sigils from magic artifacts and magical treasures alike, successfully making them his own and handling them smoothly. However, the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring shattered Su Jie's understanding. This spiritual treasure actively resists Su Jie's control, unwilling to be used by him. Su Jie can sense that within the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring, there truly exists a basic consciousness device spirit, its consciousness exceedingly simple, akin to a computer's programmed operation. It's like a fingerprint-locked phone. Su Jie isn't Zhang Qinfeng, the owner, so the 7 luminaries Star-Lord ring doesn't recognize him, not allowing it to even be powered on, let alone used. he can only continue trying slowly, constantly erasing the sigil inside the 7 luminary Star Lord ring, turning it into an unmarked device. This process could take as short as 1 month, or up to a year or longer. Boom! Suddenly, Su Jie somehow agitated the 7 luminary Star Lord ring, causing it to break free from his palm, flames soaring as they spread to Su Jie's entire body and even aimed at Su Jie's primordial spirit. Yet, just as the flames touched Su Jie's primordial spirit, the ancient mirror in the depths of Su Jie's primordial spirit sea suddenly began to shake. As if spotting an intruder trying to usurp its place, the ancient mirror emerged from Su Jie's primordial spirit sea of its own accord. Swoosh! In an instant, the 7 luminary Star Lord ring seemed to see something impossible, its blazing flames retracting in a flash, lying dormant and motionless in Su Jie's hand, becoming immediately docile. Su Jie's mouth opened slightly. He did not expect the 7 luminary Star Lord ring to manipulate itself and bring out the ancient mirror. Although unsure of the ancient mirror's level as a magic artifact, it certainly wasn't something the 7 luminary Star Lord ring, a spiritual treasure, could attempt to rival. It could connect to the Tao River, allowing Su Jie's primordial spirit to freely travel, and Su Jie's early ability to condense Dharma form is all thanks to this ancient mirror. Not to mention the ancient mirror's ability to link Blue Star and Tianyuan. Such boundary-crossing ability is considered remarkable in Tianyuan world. The 7 luminary Star Lord ring cannot compare, its sudden subdued demeanor underscoring this fact. The ancient mirror slightly rotated, its surface illuminating the 7 luminary Star Lord ring. The 7 luminary Star Lord ring began to tremble violently, as if afflicted with partial palsy, quivering as it floated back, willingly landing in Su Jie's hand. Su Jie tried to pick up the 7 luminary Star Lord ring and immediately noticed something amiss. The sigil runes within the 7 luminary Star Lord ring had been completely erased. It's like a locked phone that has been successfully reset, turning into a blank slate, ready for Su Jie to use as he wishes. Damn! It's done just like that. Even Su Jie was taken aback. Originally, he expected to spend a few months teaching the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring a lesson. He hadn't anticipated the ancient mirror's intervention quickly pacifying the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring, its efficiency astonishing. After dealing with the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring, the ancient mirror returned to the depths of Su Jie's primordial spirit sea, quietly staying there like a lifeless object. It's hard to imagine that this unassuming ancient mirror instantly erased the artifact spirit from such a low-grade spirit treasure. Indeed, one thing conquers another, Su Jie exclaimed softly, and then picked up the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring, infusing it with spiritual power to activate the treasure. The 7 luminaries Star Lord ring rose above Su Jie's head, emitting a scarlet golden halo that enveloped Su Jie entirely. Su Jie struck out with his palm, synchronously enhanced by the flame power of the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring, transforming Su Jie's palm force into a massive flaming hand, descending upon the earth below, instantly creating a fiery crater, with the high temperature melting soil and rock into magma, gradually forming a small magma lake. Witnessing this scene, Su Jie couldn't help but smile. What a treasure, truly a treasure. Worthy of being a low-grade spirit treasure, its power is formidable. Compared to magical treasures, spiritual treasures wield significantly greater power. It's said that each low-grade spirit treasure is valued at no less than 1 billion spirit stones, surpassing the entire wealth of many medium-sized sects. Now, heading to the 10,000 Sword Alliance feels much more confident. Stroking the 7 luminaries Star Lord ring, Su Jie's gaze turned northeast, his eyes shining brightly, eager to proceed. Northeast corner of Qing Province. Here lies a range known as the Red Rock Mountain Range, one of the largest mountain ranges of the Dili dynasty, spanning north to south across the dynasty, named due to the red earth-filled terrain. The mountain gate of the 10,000 Sword Alliance is located within the Red Rock Mountain Range. It boasts a total of 12 peaks, each rising sharply into the sky like a straight sword. These 12 sword peaks named after the sun, moon, seasons, and 6 paths, renowned in Qing Province.